was like,
and then bring that guy over here. Yeah. There you go. And we're live, baby.
Yay.
Cool, cool, cool. First episode.
Yay.
Or not. I don't know why I said first episode. First episode on our main channel. Okay.
Yeah, period. Okay, let's see. How do we get the link?
Link to. There you go. And then, yeah.
No, that's not it. That's fine.
Yeah, I'll literally spell it out.
/watch question mark.
YouTube.
equals
Watch.
RT
Question mark.
FB
Not the equals. Equals 9R2.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, 9RT.
Almighty.
Almighty. FBK.
Lord. Please.
W Sabe. Is that a LL? It says video unavailable.
That's weird.
I'm gonna go to yours. Delete this.
Huh? That is not at all what.
Literally. I just clicked on the video and then I'm gonna go and copy it. Did you hear yourself? Share. Copy link. I'll send it to you. Otherwise I can hear myself stop. Don't do that again. Okay, I sent it. Take a picture.
Cute.
Yes.
Oh my god, could you shut the front door right now?
Stop? Don't do that.
Oh god, okay, hold up, wait. I'm gonna actually delete that one because I'm pretty sure that
Which one?
my story.
The one I sent you?
No, my story.
Oh.
The ethic balloons. So that's that one.
Go live now. Hurry, go, run, run. We still got 10 minutes. No, we don't. We have.
No, we don't.
We got 7 minutes.
Okay.
Oh, let me actually get my freaking mic going.
You dumb. I don't know how to work. I don't know why I'm in charge of the Instagram because I'm
You got it.
literally.
It's good learning. take deep breaths. Ask yourself, why are you panicking?
Shut the fuck up right now. Oh my god, I did it! Ah! I did it, what do I do?
What?
I need to tag us.
Okay.
I keep forgetting.
It's okay. Just roll with it.
Oh god, okay, it's okay.
We'll get it down packed.
Right.
Eventually.
This is only our second one.
Yeah, it's only our second one.
Alright.
It's gonna go like this one already went so much smoother than the last one. Honestly.
I know.
Like setup wise.
Thank God.
That first one we couldn't even live stream on the actual channel.
Don't talk about that.
Okay, we don't talk about that. I'm sorry.
How dare you?
You know I get upset, Angel.
Look. Nice, okay. Now I'm gonna switch up mine.
I forgot to tag us too, LOL.
TF story. Not story. Nice, okay. I'm gonna put that on my Snapchat too.
Oh, you know what though?
What?
I wanted to see like when people show up and stuff like that, like the analytics.
Let's see. My eyes! Ah! That is so fucking bright. Ow. But also, you like have such a you have such a like hard time.
Me?
Yeah, just like keeping focus because you're watching the analytics.
Yeah, that's true.
You're like obsessive.
I know. I'm like, how many people? What's going on?
Actually kind of crazy. It's kind of
It's the
concerning.
Virgo moon. I don't know what to tell you. You're very accepting now.
I'm gonna just not.
I'm
just gonna not.
We just renewed our lease.
Whatever. Yeah. Not a big deal.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I got my boo-ho cup.
To a good stream.
To a good stream.
Got us some coffee. We're probably gonna have to have a little break.
To pee-pee.
Yeah.
I'm a pee-peer.
Yeah.
Okay. Should we check out the
You do have a pee.
the
Okay,
mic situation?
Yes, sound check, please. Oh, check.
So do you, how do you check that? You just turn off your mic for a second and just listen to the audio of the stream?
Just put your headphones on. I think you should put your headphones on, honestly, because your microphone was kind of like in and out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Let me go grab.
Good. I'm gonna turn my mic all the way up like this, and go. God damn it! Why can't you just put your big ol' legs over my
You know I can't.
cord?
Oh god.
Oh
You
god.
blocked the way off for me.
Hello. I don't know who's on here, but hello.
I'm back.
Shut up.
Shut up.
You chutty wutty.
I'm here. And I'm a little quiet.
Just a little.
Just a wee bit sometimes. Depends on the day. There we go. Alright, let's see. Hello, can you hear me? How does this sound? I don't know. Who are you messaging? Who is it?
None of your business.
Who
That's
is it?
Emily. Alright, let's see how this goes.
Oh, it's raining outside.
Yeah, it be storming. It be storming. Hello. I feel like maybe our microphones aren't loud enough? Question mark.
Yeah, I feel that as well.
'Cause you're like barely hitting green. So, put yours up.
I think put yours up too because yours look kind of slow too.
Yeah, mine was super low. For some reason. Hello.
Welcome
Hello.
to the stream itself.
Hello. My name. Oh,
Oops. Oops.
wow, that mute is so quick. That's crazy. That's crazy. Hello. If there's anybody watching right now, can you please let us know if our microphones are working pretty well, if we're too loud, or if we need to turn it up somehow. I don't know how to turn it up even more. Hello, hello. Hello. Okay. I don't know how to. Hello, is my microphone loud enough? Is this too loud? Is this enough?
I'm listening on my thing right now.
Oh. It sounds like I'm whispering. Maybe it's just because I have my headphones on.
Oh.
Live. Me being a fool.
Your mic sounds good.
Yeah. Maybe a little too loud, huh? Am I? Live. Oh, goodness.
Can you even hear me? Hold on. LOL. Not really.
Yours is up all the way too. You should just talk louder, dumb fool.
I'm not a loud talker. Go to filters and just turn them off.
Yeah, for yours, I feel. Why?
Delete. Get your butt out of my fucking face, bitch. Ugh.
Everybody loves to see my butt. That's you.
That's
Yours
you,
is
bitch.
you.
That's your upper lip.
Here, see? Wow. Okay, now yours is a little too loud.
Yeah, for sure.
Can you talk?
Hello?
Okay.
Ahaha! Hello.
Oh, maybe a little less.
Yeah, I be laughing. You know how my laugh is. Ahaha!
Is that too loud on your headphones?
Honestly, it always sounds good on my headphones, but I never know for the recording, honestly.
Oh, okay. I think I should. Oh, wait. I have my filters on.
Yeah, you actually have your filters on.
Okay.
Okay, hopefully that sounds good. If not, I'm hoping somebody will say something.
Okay. All right. I'm going to take mine off because I can't hear you without.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I actually
I
can't understand what you're saying with
hear
the
you.
earphones on.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Hi. What's up, guys?
Oh, God.
We're about to start the stream. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank y'all so much. Period.
About to start the stream.
My ring fell
Oh,
off.
hello. What is this?
What time is it?
This fell off my microphone and I
That's
don't
a
know
wire.
All right. We don't need that.
It's 6 o'clock on the dot.
Oh, yes. All right. 5, 4,
3,
3,
2,
2, 1. And we're live.
Ew.
Hi.
Hi, y'all.
Ew. Stop being so negative. Hi, guys. My name is Audrey, otherwise known as First Generation.
I'm Angel. You could follow me on Instagram, Avocado Papi. I have a Patreon that you could go subscribe to if you want. You get free art, basically. Instagram is always good because that's where my updates are. And then I also have this podcast. So
Yes, hello. I don't have any of those things currently.
we're working on it.
But I'm working on it.
Once we
yeah.
get enough subscribers and enough like people who like follow us and like us, we should definitely consider like a Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe around like 2K.
Yeah. So y'all
Those
let
are
us
my
know.
projections.
Y'all interact with us, comment on our stuff, let us know what you guys want to see from us. Maybe if there are certain topics that you guys would like us to cover, just please log on to any of our live streams. Follow us on Instagram. I'm pretty sure that I put them in the description for this live stream. But yeah, let's see. Got our handy dandy notebook.
Show them the notebook, though. Show them.
I don't think I want to.
It's so cute.
It is cute, actually. Yeah,
Just show 'em the cover.
I got this from Singapore. I got me Angel and Merlin.
Moylan.
all matching little notebooks. I'm pretty sure Merlin doesn't use his, but that's okay. And he doesn't use his anymore either.
I used to use it for like logging my workouts, but now I just use my phone. Sorry.
Right, yeah.
It's cute though.
It is cute. So now I'm gonna put our little notes. So whenever we look at this little notebook, it's just us looking at like what questions have been brought up on like Instagram or our Instagram collectively.
Right. Yeah.
And today we are going to be starting off with the fits.
Okay. You go first. You go first because
Okay,
I went
period.
first last time.
All
Oh,
right. This is my fit.
I love the knitted sweater.
Cute,
I love the knitted sweater.
It's feeling groovy.
It does feel groovy. The
It's
braids.
giving groovy. I've got these nice little.
Those
I
are
know
so
they're
cute.
cute as fuck, right? These are
They
cute
go
little.
so well with that. LOL.
Showing them my ear. Ew.
It's all dirty and shit.
Ew. Whatever. I clean my ears
I'm
other than
just kidding.
you dumb
I
dummy.
clean my ears with water.
Big dumb
Okay,
dumb.
my turn.
Yes. Period.
Just something little.
Cute. Cute.
Oh wait.
Do a twirl. Do a little and twirl.
And, like I'm so fucking tall. Like I have to like get.
Ew. Nobody wants to see all that.
It's a little shoulder moment.
Ew. Cover those up, you whore. Oh my god. Disgusting.
Audrey, this is a gift that Audrey gave you.
What? When? Oh no, I'm just kidding. Oh, my necklace.
You forgot your fucking necklace?
I got it.
Wait, hold on. What's going
Uh-oh.
on? Uh-oh.
My camera. Hold on. Hello?
Oh, we're still recording. We're still live.
Yeah. I think my camera just turned itself off or something.
It was on for a minute. Is it like it has to be plugged in to charge?
It is plugged in.
Okay, so it just runs. Okay, hold on.
We lost our viewers. Oh, period.
Are we still live though? Oh yeah, I think we are.
Yeah,
Okay,
we're still
perfect. Sorry about that.
Anyway.
Not during my outfit.
I know, right?
Not during my outfit.
That's literally what the stream said. It was like disgusting. Ew. No, I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
look, it's Daniel. Woo!
Daniel, hi.
Hi,
What's
Daniel.
up?
Thank you
How
for-
you doing?
Thank you for tuning in.
Okay, cool. So we did our fits. I think that we look pretty freaking cuties.
I think so myself. Oh wait, check it out,
dang
girl.
it.
I think it turned off again.
Oh my god, why?
Maybe the wire isn't plugged in right.
Hello?
Sorry, some technical difficulties. I know it smells crazy in there. Look at Merlin's comment.
That is so rude.
I know it smells crazy in there.
First
That is the
off.
funniest shit you could have said. Honestly.
Oh, it says battery exhausted. I don't know how that happens though. What does that even mean?
Maybe it's just overheated. Maybe.
Maybe. It's pretty hot.
Do you want to try my camera? Or it's hot.
Well, it worked last time.
Yeah.
So I'm just like...
What are they saying?
Levels are great for the sound, by the way. Okay.
Oh, thank you so much, Daniel. Honestly, we were wondering about that and nobody was commenting. And I was just like, thanks for the help.
So everybody's fake.
Thanks for the help.
Okay, I'm having some difficulties.
What's the plan, sis? What do you think?
I don't know. Do we have a mini HDMI cable? Oh my god, why?
It's okay. Let's see.
I'm about to have a BF.
What kind of cable?
A mini HDMI.
Okay. Here we go.
It's still gonna say battery exhausted.
Let's see. Damn, we have 15 views. Nice.
Already. Already more than the last
What's
one.
Lily saying? Okay, both of the what?
What the fuck?
It's a glare.
Where? What do you mean?
I feel robbed. Lily Donut. Period. She said both of us are giving.
I know. No, I'm just kidding.
It just
Thank
did.
you so much. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm sorry for all these technical difficulties. It's about to turn off again.
Oh, I just did. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What do we do? How are we gonna fix this?
Where is my?
I don't know if.
Oh, here we go. Do you just want to old school it?
I mean, that's what we gotta do.
Yeah.
That's what we gotta do.
I'm okay with it. Or do you want to try your little? I don't know what quality your camera is. This one's pretty poor.
Just okay.
Mine's pretty okay too.
Okay.
But I mean, it'll do for right now.
Yes. Yeah. Probably good. So let's go ahead and put this on me.
And then we could give your camera a rest.
Yeah. I guess.
I guess.
Okay, let's see if this can work. Okay.
Okay. We'll take it.
Alright.
It's giving. We'll take it.
Look. Nobody talk. Everybody don't look at us.
Everybody
right now.
better get a like for this.
For this hardship.
Oh, well, how did you put this on?
Sorry, y'all. Sorry, we don't know how to work.
Yeah, sorry about it.
It's fine.
How'd you put this on, girl?
Oh no. Now I have to unplug it though. Hello? Gah!
Yeah, your camera is hot.
It won't fit!
Seeing you on the screen, bitch.
I'm closing it. I'm closing it.
I'm dead.
Now I'm embarrassed.
Don't be embarrassed.
That really embarrassed me. How embarrassing. Hello? Can you just...
I'm dead.
Literally right when we started stupid podcast.
Stupid.
Stupid doopy.
Okay, I got this guy ready.
God, why is all of my stuff just
So much.
like, ah!
Here, you plug it in and I'll set it up. You should.
Oh, that's your.
Oh, my mic. Hold on, wait. Let me tie it up first.
What are you doing? Just this little thing with you? Just tighten it.
Oh shit! I don't know. That's way better.
Yeah.
Okay, but now you just gotta connect the webcam. Oh God!
Well, could you not?
I'm
fix
dying.
all of this?
I'm dying.
What is wrong with you? You're gross.
I'm dead. That was the funniest shit.
Hello. Where is it?
It's a video captcha. There you go. Oh goodness.
Oh Lord. Oh God. This is booty.
This is Bodie.
Booty 500.
Oh God, I need to cough more. Okay, that looks better. Nice. Apply. Oh God.
Okay.
Okay, now we know about the camera thing.
You gotta charge it.
Or,
Simple.
and make it bigger than the actual thing. Yeah.
This one?
A little bit bigger.
A little bit bigger.
Yeah, because it's not covering. There you go.
Alright. Right, okay.
Good enough.
Anyway.
Good enough.
Yeah, this is great. Okay.
Yeah.
All
I'll
right.
take it. I'll take it.
Now we're back. All right. So I guess since somebody feels robbed of not being able to see Avocado Poppy
Stop.
twerking,
I'm not gonna twerk.
we're gonna have a little segment now, just kidding, of him just fucking boss his ass.
If we had some Ice Spice playing, maybe, but we don't. So.
But we don't, and we're not going to because that's a copyright.
Yeah, that's
period.
a copyright infringement.
Oh, and now I don't have my fucking. I'm really lazy and I don't like getting up more than once.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, after our fits, we're going on to our card of the night. Avocado Poppy, please.
Okay,
Angel.
so today's card of the day is going to be the Seven of Pentacles. The Seven of Pentacles is talking about like keeping your mind on your money, working towards something, you know, like tending to your garden type energy. And that means like for your finances, for your body, for your healthy living, like your sleep, all that stuff that has to do with your physicality is going to be affected by that card. So just keeping that in mind, especially with the full moon coming up.
Okay.
Manifesting like some, you know, healthy practices and like going to the gym more, eating more greens, stuff like that. Also like keeping an eye on your money, like I said.
Like he already said. Yeah, he just has a tendency to repeat himself.
Like I said. What about you? What do you feel from this card? Can you apply this card to your life?
Right now, I think currently it's telling me that I need to like not spend as much money as I have been. I recently just got back from a vacation, like I said last week, and I'm still recuperating from that. So I'm just consistently.
Oh, like financially?
Yes,
oh, okay.
Yes, yeah.
Also, like physically, how are you since the trip?
Physically, honestly, I think I'm getting better because the trip. I like didn't work out as much as I wanted to. I forgot my Gold's Gym travel pass back here at home. So, you know, your girl is very forgetful. But other than that, I think that I've been doing really well. I'm about to hit triple digits on my back day. It was back day today, y'all. So I'm about to hit it again today. Yeah.
Okay, that's an achievement. No, that's an achievement for sure.
Yeah. Before we left, or before I left, I was at triple digits. Whenever it was Merlin's birthday, I was like, that was
so you're
the
getting
day.
Back where you were.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So it's okay. It was only like a 15-pound difference. So I think that I'm getting up to that point again where I'm like building it.
Feeling juicy.
Yeah. What about you? How are you feeling physically?
I hurt my shoulder.
Better now.
But yeah, it feels a lot better. Like I just sleep wrong and I saw 222 on the thing, so period blessed. We're on the right track.
Yes, we are.
But yeah, my shoulder was like completely fucked up, so I was just doing like cardio and like some body workouts, like
okay, good.
You know, like nothing crazy, and then I would work on like my arms and my legs. But today I finally did a chest day, so I feel way better.
Oh, okay, nice.
Because my shoulder was, when it gets like fucked up, it's not even my shoulder, it's like my back neck thing. Like when I'm in traffic and I'm trying to look back at shit, like that's when it hurts the most. So that situation.
Oh God. No, that's good. That's good to like have some rest. You're still going to the gym, you know what I mean? And you're having the right amount of rest and working out, I feel, in order for your body to recuperate, you know what I mean? Exactly. But you're also still going to the gym, so it's like you're doing really well for yourself.
Yeah, I'm like just trying to go, even when I don't feel like it, like I just want to go.
Period, girl. So, good job. I'm so proud of you.
Thanks. Consistency is key.
Round of applause, guys. I know that this is exactly what Angel was waiting for. Also, if I talk mean to him, y'all aren't allowed to say nothing because I live with this guy. And that's the whole point of this podcast.
That's why I let him. Oh, I just noticed our sign isn't up. I'll fix it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you. Nice. Yes. Period. Thank you. Awesome. Cute. And they were roommates. And we are roommates.
That's a real sign.
Yeah. That's a real sign.
Moxie, what's up, girl?
Hi. How are you? All right.
So we got card of the day.
Yes.
You're doing good.
I'm doing great. Yeah.
Emotionally, mentally, all that. Like, how you doing? School? Tell me about school.
I love school so far. Just so far. It's only been the first week. So I'm really... optimistic, I guess you could say. I don't really know much about coding. I know that it's difficult, that it can be difficult, especially if you don't practice enough. But I'm trying to do committing code. I'm trying to like commit code every day at least. You know what I mean? Apparently that looks really good on your resume.
I'll
So
take it.
yeah, and the coding school that I'm going to right now, it guarantees a job right after. So I'm hoping that,
Even better.
yeah, exactly, baby.
And then you had met somebody already that was like, let me know.
Yes, yeah. So hopefully, this next week won't be as difficult. We had today off because it was Memorial Day.
Happy Memorial Day, by the way. Memorial Day. Memorial Day.
Yes, happy Memorial Day. Slash good Memorial Day. Not happy, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's fine.
I
It's
hope
a little.
you're remembering.
I think you should stop talking.
Okay. I'm gonna stop now. I don't actually like. I don't know.
Sorry, we're.
I didn't even know
fools.
people like celebrated Memorial Day like that.
For sales, I think that people do at the mall.
Yeah, for sure. That's the only time I would hear about it.
Shout out to all the old Kona Grill peeps. They're probably getting fucking massacred right now because
God bless
it's
them.
also
I
raining.
forgot.
Yeah, God bless those people, honestly.
The service
I'm so
workers.
sorry. Yeah, all of the service workers today, especially the ones that work at the mall. I'm so sorry.
For real.
I'm sure y'all will get a lot of goodies, though. Uh-oh.
I'm
Is that
getting an Amber
flood
alert.
alert?
Getting a
Flood
little
alert?
Getting a little flood alert.
Hello, Andrew.
Hello, my
How
brother.
Are you?
Welcome.
Yes, good evening.
Thank you for watching.
Yes, thank you for watching. So how are you doing emotionally, mentally? What have you been working on this past week?
Emotionally, I'm just like tired.
Oh, okay.
Is something funny? I'm like,
No, I feel it, girl.
I
Cheers
feel
to
it. Like,
that.
I'm just feeling like, honestly, I'm feeling a little silly because I was just so serious while my boss was gone. Like I was taking my job pretty seriously in the sense of like, I just don't want things to fall apart.
Okay.
So,
especially not on your watch.
especially not on my watch. I was
Especially-
basically like the manager, so like it was just like a lot of like I don't know, focus, too much focus.
Too much focus.
And so now that he's back, I'm kind of like, oh, I'm tired.
Chill out. Yeah,
I'm like
that's
ready
good.
to go to bed.
No, I totally get that. Honestly, like being a fucking manager is the worst. Like,
You used to be a manager. So
yeah, it's literally the worst.
it's the worst.
Y'all be nice to y'all managers, okay? They go through a
Literally.
lot,
Yeah,
okay?
they really
That's what I'm
do.
saying. Please, we need
It's
a
just-
little bit of.
It's so much mental strain too, like not just emotional, but
Exactly.
mental strain.
Yes, dude.
On you, and then physical strain because you're having to do things that normally people don't want to do, so you're like picking up the
Exactly. Oh my
slack a little
God.
bit.
I hated talking to like guests that were angry because I already didn't like know how to deal with that, especially coming from like I'm a people pleaser. That's why I didn't know how to like deal with it. But honestly, after that, I was like, oh well, fuck everybody.
Fuck everybody.
I don't think that I need to please nobody. So now we're here. It's great. I feel wonderful.
Good.
Anything new that you're working on?
Anything new? I've been trying to work on my tattooing,
Ooh, yes.
but it's more just like
portfolio.
design and concept wise, which I'm very happy with, like what I've been producing art wise.
Good.
If you want to like go see the stuff that I do produce, like it's on my Patreon, so there is like a little bit of a, but it is like, in my opinion, it's just not on brand for like avocado papi,
Oh, okay.
but like it's just stuff to like broaden my portfolio.
Okay.
So
right.
if you're interested in like me broadening my portfolio, Patreon for sure.
Nice.
Other than that, I'm just waiting on a grip. I'm probably just gonna get one since I just got paid. My boss just got back.
As far as tattooing endeavors.
Yeah, tattooing. So I just want to grab that and just get straight to like practicing, get an apprenticeship as fast as possible.
Nice. Good.
I tried doing the like the teacher route and also like the just being a good worker kind of route, and
Yep.
none of it really was just like satisfying to me.
Nope.
So I'm just gonna do this.
Totally
I'm kind of
understandable.
using this podcast as like an outlet for that.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, that side of myself. So
Nice, that's
what
awesome.
I'm using this for.
Nice.
What about you?
For me, this podcast, I feel like this is just my like motivation and also a little bit of like inspiration for me. My motivation towards like my own stream which, by the way, Wednesdays, 8 p.m., I'm going to be streaming
Plug in.
twitch.tv. First Generation. Y'all go follow me. Give me a like. I will do my first stream this Wednesday. I'm a little nervous.
Don't be nervous.
I know.
You're gonna game?
It's yes, yeah. Well, it's gonna be like a chill game first. I'm gonna ease into this.
Yeah, something's chill.
Yeah.
Have you decided what game?
I'm just gonna do Stardew Valley, I think.
Stardew Valley.
I'll show y'all like my old world, and then maybe I'll start a new world, just depending on how I feel. How I feel that day. But it's just gonna be a chill one, just so that I can ease into streaming. And then after a little while, I'll start taking like I mean, honestly though, I'm just scared because people like tell me that they want me to
I want to see you play a scary game.
That's exactly why I'm scared. I don't want to play scary games, y'all. But please,
I don't think you should do anything you don't want to. But like, I just think content development wise, like I would watch that honestly.
Okay, but y'all are gonna have to like watch it with speakers, yeah, or like
turn down the headphones.
Yeah. I'm a screamer.
Nasty bitch.
Yeah, so and this is my motivation to like really start it and like get a feel for how streaming really is, because this is a lot easier when you have somebody else with you to do it. You know what I mean?
Like just on my live stream last night, I wasn't talking too much because I just wasn't feeling it.
Yeah.
And then my internet cut out, so I was just like,
yeah, I know.
It just wasn't a good streaming day. But you'll have those days. And then the next stream will be freaking popping, you'll get like 30 freaking views or something, and you never know. So
I know. I'm excited. I'm excited
about
to start
consistency.
Streaming. Yes. Yeah. And I use this also as inspiration because I honestly haven't started my spiritual journey much up until I met you and up until I met Angel. And I literally met Angel like a year and a half, maybe like almost 2 years ago now.
I was about to say it's been
almost 2 years. Yeah, wow, that's crazy.
Ew.
And we just renewed our lease too, so we're gonna know each other for at least another year. At least, I guess, maybe, I don't know.
Depending on when that lease ends.
Yeah, well,
you get it.
Anyway. All right.
We're all like ready to move out and shit.
Yeah. I'm moving out now.
Honestly though, like this is a pretty nice place to like set up for another year. Like I'm not mad at it. We have this space to like do our thing, to do our work. Yeah. And then we also have like our own rooms which are nice. You have your own bathroom. We have our own bathroom.
Yeah, exactly.
The living room is getting nicer and nicer. And then I want to start focusing on the patio to like make it look cute as fuck. So we can go out there and chill. So excited. Especially during this summertime.
Yes.
I can't wait.
And then hopefully maybe on like some really nice days we can have our stream outside too,
That's such a good idea.
That would be so awesome because then the sunlight would just be hitting us all right.
Get a little tan while we're doing it, okay.
Yeah, well, okay. I mean, in our swimsuits or what?
I mean, might as well.
I wouldn't mind.
Might as well. Is that gonna get us some
Would y'all
money?
watch that?
Is that getting us some money?
Tell us.
That kind of goes into like this part of the day.
Jason, what's up? Hi, how are y'all?
What did they
Thank
say?
You for tuning in. Steph just said preach and period. Jason said amen, period. I don't know what they were saying that about, but period. Yes. Period. Anyway,
Tori's here too. What's up, girl?
Hi, Tori. Oh, hi everyone for joining.
I know. Thank you so much for watching.
Yeah, we love the support. Thank you so much. Shut up. All right, so I think that it's proper if we go on to our main segment, Thoughts That Think.
Period.
Triple T, baby.
Damn, period. Yeah. That's a good name. Triple T.
Is it?
Thoughts That Think.
Thoughts That Think. Yeah, girl. I just thought of it today, too.
I like that.
So today, our main topic is going to be our inner child, our higher self, and our shadow self. And we're probably going to be talking about those respectively because we think that progression of working on yourself is probably the best option for you to work on yourself. Like, you should start working on your inner child first, maybe, and like, making sure that you're okay with your past and like not really having regrets associated with your past, and then moving on to higher self and then on to your shadow self once you get a full understanding of everything that is your inner child and your
It's like
higher
all
self.
kind of going hand in hand, but definitely each one deserves its own time to talk about.
Yes.
So it's like almost juggling all these three aspects of yourself, but also like taking the time to understand each of them.
Period.
We're just starting with the inner child because I feel like that's where a lot of people like to start.
Yes.
So
And then it's okay if you want to start at any point in time. Like, these are just our personal opinions, what have worked for us. So if you feel like maybe you're ready to start working on your shadow self, you're ready to, level up to your higher self, that is totally okay. You're welcome to do whatever you please. It's your life. These are just like some tips, some answers to some questions that we think have helped us along our journey.
yeah.
I feel like I've grown definitely a lot, even just within the last 2 years that I have met you, especially considering my spirituality and my mindfulness. But I guess we'll just move on to our inner child. What do you think I guess, how would you define your inner child?
My inner child, how would I define it? I would say my inner child is obviously a younger self of me, a past version of myself. But my inner child doesn't always look like the same, I would say. It's like different memories that have to do with like traumatic experiences or even positive experience. I like to go and reinforce some positive experience with my inner child.
Nice.
But
Perfect.
like just going into those specific moments and memories and like speaking with him and like understanding how they were feeling. And I feel like that helps me as an adult, feel good.
Right, yeah.
What about you? What's your inner child like?
What is
it? Answer the question.
My inner child, it's pretty much the same thing. I view like myself from a third person point of view, obviously because I'm not a child anymore. I see like mostly honestly the most troubled me, and the most troubled me that I imagine was the middle school and high school me. I feel like those were really big transitionary periods in my life that I never really got associated with myself. I like honestly feel like I dissociated myself from reality and from all of the things that encompass, just life and reality in general. So I like to go.
Autopilot.
Yeah, exactly. I was going through a lot of life-changing events, and no one was really around to help me out other than just myself. So I feel like I, disconnected myself from that. So now I'm trying to reconnect with, with that inner child.
Oh, the energy's moving.
Yeah, it is. With that inner child, that I never really got to really know. I didn't really know myself back then. And in order for me to move on from like all of that past, all of that regret or mistakes, I want to learn. I want to grow from it. So
Right.
whenever I go back to my inner child, whenever I go back to like my middle school, high school self, I always tell myself, like, this isn't an experience that you regret. Like, this is just a mistake that you can learn from. That's how I tend to view all of my regrets or mistakes, is like just opportunities for me to continue my growth, period.
Period.
Let's see. What about you? Do you specifically go back to a certain time in your life, like a certain age, or like a certain event that you keep associating with your inner child?
I would say
Or
it gets kind of
just
deep.
multiple? Yeah.
It gets kind of deep, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. Just because the inner child work is very serious, in my opinion. But so is just growing. You got to take it seriously. But I would say like during like around the same age as you, like middle school, high school, and then like a little bit beforehand is like when maybe somebody would like go out of hand and I'm just a child. You know what I mean? Like
okay.
fifth grader and talking to myself. I used to put myself down a lot. Like my inner child, I would put it down a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I would go back and revisit these memories that just pop into my mind. And I would be almost like abusive towards them, like being like, how could you do that? You should be like you're so stupid,
Yeah.
like why are you acting like
I'm the
this,
same.
like that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm the same.
And so that was my first contact with my inner child. And then like in college I took some classes, and a lot of like art is actually like delving within yourself. So I
Oh,
feel
wow.
like
Yeah.
that also helped me go into myself and be like, maybe I don't have to be so mean to this baby. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially when I was like in college and I was still getting triggered and like having things pop up because of my inner child. Like,
Yeah.
and I had to solve that because it wasn't helping me being mean to myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I feel that. Where do you think that came from? Like
Being
why?
rude to myself. I would say that came from a place of like treating my inner child as adults treated me.
Period. That's what I was gonna say for myself too.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me about that for you.
Because I also was like that with my inner child. I'm like, okay, well, why are all of these like, things triggering me like that I didn't know. I didn't understand. I couldn't connect the dots. I was like, why are all of these things like triggering me to like yell or scream or cry, you know what I mean? Like I would be in relationships that were really toxic, but instead of me reacting like how I would react now, I would just get, you know, fucking angry. I would rage.
Pissed.
I would rage out,
Sagittarius thing.
Okay, well, we're getting better from that.
We're getting better.
My Sagittarius self also tells me to like, bitch, be patient. It's okay. Like it's all right
Temperance.
to, yeah, exactly. It's okay to work through all of this stuff and, heal slowly. So I feel like my inner child was also, getting even more hurt by my adult self telling her like, whatever you went through doesn't matter. Like what's done is done. You know what I mean? Like my inner child was not like appeased by me saying that at all. She
Right.
was fucking still mad. She was like, "Listen to me, bitch.
So you have you had
Listen to
an
me."
angry inner child.
Yeah, honestly, yes, very much so. But I think it was because of all of the rage that I was surrounded by. Like, I was surrounded by angry mom, angry dad, angry brothers. Like, both of my older brothers are angry, and all of these people, they're older than me. They're superior to me. In Asian culture, that's like a really big
Superior.
thing is
That's
that
interesting
if
thing.
you're older, you have to respect the elderly. You know what I mean?
I would say that's the same in Latino culture as well.
Exactly. And so it's just like, okay, well, I have to like bow my head and just take whatever they say to me, whatever they're yelling at me for. I just have to accept it because that's
That's the place that I was assigned.
exactly. Yeah, this is my culture. Like this is how I grew up. And that's why a lot of us Asian people like a lot. I know that there's a lot of y'all Asians out there that agree with me that our parents are just like, well, you just have to do what I say. They don't tell you why you have to do what they say. Like they'll just say because I told you so. You know what I mean? Those are the kinds of parents that I grew up with, at least. And
Right.
it's not of anything of like, they're doing it out of malice.
No.
I know that they love me. To this day, I still think that, all of the things that they have gone through whenever I was a kid, like I didn't really have perspective on it as a kid. And now as an adult, I do. So I come to understand my mom and dad a lot more,
In
as
your
well as my
adulthood.
inner child, while I like, reconnect everything from my inner child to, like how other people treated me at that time.
Oh, that's a
And
good point.
you know what I mean? Like, it's not just an exploration of just yourself. I feel like your inner child is also an exploration of your environment and the people that you were surrounded by
Yeah, for sure.
and connecting with at
Looking
that
at a
time,
more
too.
analytical kind of point of view and a more like mature point of view.
Exactly.
For
Like,
sure.
seeing situations from a bird's eye view and like a bigger picture rather than just like, this is me. I was feeling very shamed. I was feeling very small. Like, I want to see the bigger picture of, like, why did I feel so small? Why did I feel so shamed? And, like, how can I change that feeling inside of my inner child? Like, it's not just me, it's also her back then.
Right.
How do you usually look at things whenever you, like, try to dig deeper into your inner child.
So this process for me is called like parenting. Like you're basically being the parent of your inner child.
Baby.
Just being, yeah, like basically babying yourself. And allowing yourself like room for your inner child to like express themselves in like some kind of situation. What'd they say?
Oh no, hi Ruben.
Hi, Ruben.
Hi.
I knew he wasn't a hater. What did he say?
He said, but would y'all's inner children be besties on the playground? I don't know. Probably not. No, just kidding. I would say so. I think
I
that
was annoying. I think we're both annoying.
Yeah, super. We're fire signs.
Yeah.
So we were
both
like
annoying.
Purely Leo, purely Sagittarius energy.
Period.
So I'm sorry.
No,
Continue.
you're good. I wanted to see what he said. So going back to like parenting yourself is basically just becoming or being the adult that you wish you had during that situation.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's like being a good like fatherly figure, I would say, like being a good like masculine figure, but also being nurturing and like feminine. This goes back into like last week's episode a little bit. So bringing that back into this situation and applying those two energies to your inner child is very important. You know what I mean?
It is. Especially if you didn't have that throughout your childhood. Like having a really good masculine and a really good feminine energy to like, you know,
guide your inner child.
Exactly, is so important. You know what I mean? And especially if you didn't have your parents around, you know what I mean? Like if you haven't tried to like go back and look at your life in the past, like look at your inner child and actually acknowledge that all of these things have happened to you, I definitely think that you should consider it. It might be very difficult for some people. A lot of people have gone through very traumatic experiences. And honestly, if you do want to go and, you know, heal your inner self, but you're kind of scared, I highly recommend, if you have the means, to a therapist. We were just talking about this before the podcast. It's super important that, you know, if you want to take this journey, sometimes you don't want to take it alone. And I definitely wanted to like heal. I wanted to continue my spiritual journey, and so Angel was that guide for me. I didn't have the means, and I still don't have the means to get a therapist or do any of that work with them, but just having somebody else there with you and somebody else who has a little bit more knowledge about, you know, all of the inner child, the higher self, the shadow self, and being able to look at you from a non-judgmental place is super important. Like, I'm also reading this book. I'll show it to y'all later, maybe.
What's the name? Oh.
That's why I said I'll show it later.
Well, what's it about?
It's like a body and mind after trauma or something like that.
Oh, you are the mountain or something?
No, it's not that one. I don't
have that one yet. The body has the count or something like that?
Something like that. Yeah, exactly why I didn't want to fucking say it, dumb bitch. I'm sorry.
Those are some examples of books.
I'm sorry. That was my Sagittarius coming up.
Yeah, that was my Sagittarius. Watch out, yeah. Those are like books that like have to do with like, you know, the trauma. The body keeps the count, right?
Yes, body keeps yeah.
Somebody. It's not that serious.
Y'all have seen it on my Instagram. I posted it on my story several times. It's a blue and orange cover with like a little figure on it, like fainting looking. Yes. I'm almost done with it, but it was basically talking about that. It was talking about how if you want to start this journey to heal yourself, you feel like you have gone through a lot of trauma that you want to continue and move forward past from and learn from, then definitely, if you can, find somebody that you truly trust to like bear it all out. Not just a therapist, like if you have a friend, if you have a parent, if you have a grandparent, brother, if you have even a pet, like they say that animals also very much help. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like emotional support animals.
Exactly. Into opening yourself up to like these new ideas and to new people, and you know, just being comfortable with your own company. Yeah.
For sure.
So, what about you? Did you have anybody like helping you guide yourself
Um,
into
I would
this?
say like I had a good framework of how to help myself.
Mm-hmm.
Because my dad's a Leo, he's very much like this is how I help myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then my mom is a Cancer, so I have
Oh,
both the sun
nice.
and the moon.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom is a very hard worker, so she gave me the like this is how I take care of myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then my grandma Jacinta is a very spiritual person, so she
Mm-hmm.
gave me the framework of like this is how I spiritually take over myself.
Oh,
So they kind of
okay.
like all represent different things for me a little bit in
Oh,
the
okay.
sense of like when I started to try to help myself.
Mm-hmm.
So all these people helping themselves, I took a little bit out of them and I was just like, okay, this is how I help myself and this is what feels
That's
good for me.
good. No, that's
And that's when
good.
I started getting on to like my own research of how to heal my inner child and like where all these feelings are stemmed from, and like also going to college really helped a lot as well. Like just what is it?
I'm sorry.
Honestly.
Hi Ellie, how are
Hi
you?
Ellie.
She said Sagittarius representing here this evening, period. And
Period.
Moxie
We love the
said, I'm
Saggies.
spoiling my inner child. That's
As you should,
good.
as
You
you should. I mean,
should.
don't spoil them rotten, but like
But spoil them a little bit, you know, especially if they didn't get any spoiling in the past, you
for
know?
sure, like
Period.
taking
Give them that
yourself
fruit
to go do some
gushers.
good. Yeah, give them fruit gushers. There you go.
Yeah, go girl.
I
This is
think,
your money now, you
yeah,
know?
it's your money. You spend it the way you want it.
Exactly.
Some ways to like help your inner child as an adult,
Mm-hmm.
I would say, are like sitting down, meditating first, trying to
Yes.
journal maybe a little bit
Period.
for
Yes.
sure.
Journaling helps me a lot.
Doing things that you actually want to do. You know what I mean? Like actually
Yes.
just, and then also like just taking a fucking nap when you want to take a nap. Like that is so
That
healing
is
for your
so
inner child,
true.
honestly,
Yeah.
because you're allowing to like say, I am tired
Yes.
and I'm going to bed.
Yes.
That kind of goes hand in hand with your shadow self, but we're
Mm-hmm.
not there yet. It's okay.
Yeah, no,
But your
that's
inner
okay.
child and shadow self are very almost like intertwined. So
Mm-hmm.
is the light self. So
Yeah, that's exactly why we're talking about all of this right now. This is like more of an introductory to like how we've been healing, to how we kind of view things, especially compartmentalizing things. I feel like a lot of people do that, and it's not a bad way to think. It's not a
I don't
bad
think
way
so.
to heal. It's okay to compartmentalize so that you understand like what is your priority, so you understand like the different parts of yourself that make up all of you, you know what I
For
mean?
sure.
I did have a question actually from your sister. Just hello 22 Isa, happy birthday, by the way. This
Happy
was her birthday
birthday. Oh
weekend.
my
I don't know
God.
if she's here or not, but
I'm going to go visit her when I go
yes.
back to Corpus.
That's awesome. I'm
Hmm.
so excited for you. She asked, what can cause someone to be comfortable, or I'm sorry, what can cause someone to be comfortable enough to let out their inner child?
Comfortable enough.
To let out their inner child.
I would say like giving yourself the space and time to actually like that is your goal is to make your inner child comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So as a young person, which she is,
Mm-hmm.
which they are, is very much about just like how do I personally feel comfortable. And that's
Ooh,
part of the journey when you
okay.
first start is like, how do I get myself comfortable? You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
And that took me a long time as well. Like I started with meditation.
Ooh,
I started with a lot
yes.
of like breath work. Like
Oh,
every
yes.
time I noticed that I was like a little bit anxious or like
Mm,
in a
yes.
in like a negative mindset, I would take a
Mm-hmm.
couple moments to breathe and do like a small meditation. Even if I was at work, I'd be doing it.
Yeah,
At the
you
time,
should.
I was working at GNC
You should.
and I was working at a mall, and it just was like
The worst.
either I was by
Sounds
myself
crazy.
or I was having to accommodate people. You know what I mean? And at the
Mm,
time, like it was just very much about like just feeling normal and
mm,
calm.
yeah.
So it's all about just starting there and then
Mm-hmm.
working your way like inch by inch.
Okay.
So I would say that to her or them.
Okay,
What
cool.
about you?
For
How do you answer
me,
that question?
I guess like what made me comfortable with my inner child was honestly I like to just dive in.
Mm.
I am one of those people that even if I dive in, at least, and I'm having struggles, I have anxiety about it. I do it anyway because it's good to feel those feelings. I want to be able to feel those feelings. I want to feel my feelings and actually connect with it. So for me, because I dissociated so much and so hard, I feel like, for me to explore my younger self, I journaled a lot. I
Journaling.
like every time that I would remember, something that my past self has gone through, I would write it down immediately. And I would write down exactly how I feel, like how my chest feels, how I'm thinking, like, what thoughts were running through my head as a kid or, as a young adult, I would just write down everything that came to my mind. And after I would be done writing down like whatever memory or whatever feeling I was feeling, I'd explore it a little bit more. I would ask myself questions. I'd be like, okay, why am I feeling this way about this certain situation that I went through? One of the biggest things that I kind of had to heal from, it was my mom and dad, like, finally, like, the straw that broke the camel's back, they
Mm-hmm.
finally fought each other. Like, they physically got a little bit violent with each other. And that is something that has run through my head a lot growing up, especially through my young adulthood, because this was what I was going through, like literally right when I started middle school, like right at fresh out of fifth grade, going into sixth grade. And then I had like troubles making friends and keeping friends. And I like, I went down a big, deep rabbit hole of just dissociating myself from reality and from people. And I have to look back on that and be like, why did I, dissociate? Why did I, detach myself from everybody? And it always goes back to that one event of me and my brothers were like literally sitting on the stairs watching my mom and dad like yelling at each other and then just physically fighting each other. And my brother having to go and step down the steps like super fucking quick and try to break them up, and me and my other brother looking at each other like maybe we should call the cops. Like, I don't know if we should or not. But then, like, whenever was writing that down and how I felt about the situation, I would go even further back than that and be like, this happened like all the time. Like, my mom and dad would always fight, and it would always be later at night because they would be coming back home from work. Like, my
Mm.
family owned a restaurant, and we would close at like 10, 11 o'clock. So my mom and dad would be back home after like midnight. And whenever they would be back home, that's when they would have their discussions like, this is our relationship, this is our family, like, this is what we need to talk about. Or at least
Mm.
that's what my mom would try to do. But my dad, he would just be like, I want to relax. Like, he was a cook. So he was like, I
I'm physically
need to
tired.
decompress. I'm exhausted. Like, and now you're over here just like trying to start a fight with me. That's basically how he saw things, I'm sure. Like, now that I think back on it, you know what I
Right.
mean, as an adult. So, like, for me, exploring my inner child, I literally would just keep writing more and more. Maybe you would express yourself in a different way. I know that some people can express themselves through painting. Maybe through music, people can express themselves and
Mm-hmm.
explore more. There's so many different creative outlets that you could possibly, unravel yourself
Right.
into.
I think just like you said, diving into different stuff that you just want to do to feed your inner
Yeah,
child for sure.
yeah.
How did
And
you talk to yourself during those moments? Like, were you talking to yourself, or were you just like kind of regurgitating the memory?
so I at first would just be regurgitating the memory.
Right.
Before I met you, I was a journaler up until from high school up until now I am still. I feel like I'm really good at writing how I feel and expressing myself through words. So nowadays I don't just regurgitate. I like physically stop myself from writing, and I'm like, okay, like I'm starting to get a little shaky, or like, oh, I'm getting a little upset by me remembering this situation.
Mm-hmm.
why am I feeling this way? And then I would start talking to myself physically, and I'd be like, or I guess verbally, I would be talking to myself like, hey, it's okay that you feel this way. If you want to keep writing, keep writing. But if not, why do you feel this way? Why do you feel like can't talk about this subject? Why do you feel like you are holding yourself back? Or, you know what I mean?
sure.
Would verbally try to talk to myself like, oh, well, bitch, like, bitch, like what?
No, for real. Be real with yourself. Be real with yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
And that just goes to show like the journaling is just like the door into talking to yourself. You know what I mean? That's just the gateway. And any other, like you were saying, any other form of like expressing yourself is just the gateway into actually getting deeper with yourself.
Yeah. And we talked about this last week too, is like something that you can really do to help yourself is just by talking to yourself.
For real.
If you want to, you can, record yourself, you can voice memo yourself.
I used to record myself a lot.
Yeah, and the text to speech is like, or I'm sorry, the speech to text is really good on a lot of smartphones now, especially even computers. Like if you just talk to the microphone, it'll just type all of it out for you if you don't want to like hear your voice or anything, you know what I mean? I feel like talking to yourself though is a very prominent thing that a lot of people should practice more often and not consider taboo as like crazy or associate with like a crazy person, a psycho or sociopath. Like I feel like that's a very normal thing to do. I feel like oh, it's the lightning.
Okay, lightning.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
I do feel
Y'all be
like people
careful.
have like a stigma against like talking to yourself because sometimes I'll be talking to myself low key or
Yeah.
like praying to myself, and like
People just
I can just sense people's energy around me and they are just like not having it. They're
Yeah.
like, what is this guy doing? And I'm all like, I
Yeah.
respect that honestly. I'm all like,
That's
I'm not
okay.
picking the easy road
Yeah.
doing child and like doing shadow work. Like,
yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean? Like, it's not easy, and honestly,
No.
anybody who like stigmatizes it is like my enemy. To be real, honestly,
I'm coming for you.
actually, I'm gonna come for you. What is wrong with you? You know what I mean? Do we have any new messages? What's going on?
It's just Ellie saying corpus representing here this evening too.
Period. 361, hold it down.
Yo,
Period.
what's up?
Let's not talk about it.
Also, y'all, if you guys have any questions about inner child, please type it in our
feel free to
chat
leave a
box. Yeah, please. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, just let us know. But yeah, no, I think that's a really good point. That society just really doesn't acknowledge that talking to yourself is just a good, normal, and also kind of creative process too. Like I feel like you really
sure.
untap a lot of potential energies up in here whenever you start talking to yourself. And one of the habits that I remember this one, Atomic Habits by
I love
James
Atomic
Clear.
Habits. That's a must-read book.
Yes, it is a must-read book. I turned him on to it.
Yeah,
period.
she's the one who turned me on. Audible.
It's Audible. Or if you like paperback, you can get it anywhere, honestly. I feel like a lot of
it's like
millions,
a top seller.
Yeah, millions of people are reading this book, and it's a really fucking good book, guys. Like if you want to learn basics as to how to get better every day, getting 1% better is an accumulation. You know what I mean?
I remember I was a dishwasher while listening to that book.
Yes.
And that book, definitely helped me go above and beyond where I was in that situation.
Girl. Yeah.
So I went from dishwasher to,
business owner.
now I'm a business owner. Now I have a podcast. Now, like I'm just
Period.
doing my best to like do me.
Yes.
And it's always like through baby steps.
Yes, exactly.
And getting closer with my inner child. So like this is not stuff that we're like light about. Like this is stuff that I'm very serious about, especially because I feel like it's
Same.
healing for not just me but my family as well. Like I've tried to help them out so much with just like being like wanting to heal everybody,
Yeah, exactly.
period.
Sorry, that was my crystal.
That's my
Just
crystal.
kidding.
What crystals do we have out right now? Hold up. Little segment break.
Yeah, just a segment break. It's fine. This is my howlite. I got this from the wood shop that you showed me. Actually, it's
I have a witch shop here in San Antonio.
yes, period. Not his wood shop,
Not
but
mine,
it's
but
the
like-
one that we go to.
Yeah.
We live very close by to it now
Oh.
too.
God.
Stop.
God mad at us for going to a witch
What?
shop.
The thunder. It's scary.
I
It's
know,
scary.
it's scary low-key. Anyway, I'm scared of your computer. Is it okay?
No, I'm sure it'll be fine. I
Okay.
think that it's on a surge protector.
Oh, surge
so,
protector?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
We're
Mine
good.
is too.
Okay, cool.
She just got me, which was a nice little surprise. I love gifts. I'm definitely a gift giver,
Yeah,
like
period.
receiving person.
Yeah.
I like getting gifts.
We all know
period.
that. Yeah.
What was it again?
A peacock stone.
Peacock stone.
Or
Peacock
yes.
ore. And
That's
it's just very reflective. It looks like oil.
Yeah, very cool.
It's so
very
beautiful.
cool.
And it's for like aligning chakras. And I think that's
Yes.
so interesting that you got me that, because I was gonna make June my like chakra balancing month.
I love
Like I
that.
just wanted to spend my entire like June, which is my mom's birthday.
Aw,
And like
happy
which happy birthday,
birthday.
mom. Go Cancers, period.
Period.
Is just balancing my chakras. Like
Mm-hmm.
fucking I wanna be like
Nice.
just let it like flow. I wanna be completely just flowing.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
I'm glad that we have that like telepathy.
I know,
kind
that
of,
was interesting.
Yeah.
The divine.
Interest. Yeah. Howlite is good for stress and also for your throat chakra by being able to communicate. So that's why I brought this one up, so that I wouldn't have trouble communicating what I
What you really
really
feel.
yeah,
Oh, I like
exactly.
that. That's a good. And I don't want anybody to feel like weird about crystals, because it's
Yeah.
really just about setting intentions and then looking at
Yes.
it and being like, oh yeah, I forgot I set that intention.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of like is a trigger to your brain to
Exactly.
like do better.
Like, I don't think that these crystals are magic or anything. I just think that it's really good at, like, you know, motivating and inspiring us to, like, really do what we set out to do. You know what I mean?
Depending on the situation.
Yes, exactly. And this
So-
is, like, something that I associate with, like, you know, this period of my life. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. So this
Yeah.
era.
Yes, yeah. There's
Gotcha.
different, like, eras for different stones. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
And currently, right now, I'm feeling my howlite. So,
Okay, period.
yes.
So let's transition from inner child.
Mhm.
Okay, so how is that
Good.
going into light work for you?
Light work?
Yeah, like your higher self.
So I just feel like I assumed that, you know, me looking back on my past and really figuring out what triggered me as a kid, what causes me to have triggers as an adult is what I need to like truly heal myself from the inside out. Like I personally like put myself on this path of like, whoa, I really want to figure out like the base of everything, like why I am the way that I am currently. And in order for me to get better into my higher self, like I have to reach a little bit deeper into like why I am the way I am now. That is also kind of what Atomic Habits taught me, is that I really want to like work on getting to who I want to be in my future self. And so step by step, little by little, I have to figure out where I'm at now in order to get to the level that I want to be at. So for me, my higher self, my light work, my lighter self, my best self, if
Your
you
best
will.
self.
I see myself, like reaching out to people and being able to be there for people that, you know, may not have anybody else. Me growing up, I never really had anybody else like to talk to confide in, and I just want to be a safe space, not just for me, but for everybody around me. And for me to do that, I have to really truly heal like the biggest, like most traumatized parts of myself, which is the little child and my little baby self,
Right,
and
little
my also young adult self.
Right.
A lot of things happened, honestly. And
Yeah.
I know a lot of more things will happen, but now I have like a greater understanding that these are all just opportunities for me to continue my growing period.
Right.
And that's honestly where my highest self is coming from, which I feel like I am getting to that point already. Like I'm getting to that point where these little minor inconveniences, like, yeah, fuck them, like, oh my god, they're so inconvenient, ew, like, gross. but also, you know, these big life events, like, ew, gross, I hate them, but also I have to love them. Like, I
Yeah.
have to find a positive side to it, because if I don't, then my perspective is going to shift into a really negative one, which I'm trying to shift out of my negative,
Exactly.
you know, way of thinking. My perspective was really, really like more towards my ego and my shadow self. And now I'm getting more into like that kind of work, because I know that my lightest self is here to protect me and to guide me into something better and a bigger future that I am comfortable with and that I love. And I feel like that all comes from loving yourself.
Period.
What about you, though? What do you see your higher self? What is your higher self?
My higher self is definitely like the best version that I could possibly be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I imagine somebody who is older for sure, an older version of myself. I don't even sometimes imagine myself, my higher self, as me. Like sometimes I just imagine it as like a white entity,
Yes, yeah,
like that just
exactly.
like is so much grander than what I can even like try to do on earth. You know what I mean? Like it's all my past lives like put together into one being, and like the ultimate like me, you know? Period. And then doing light work is
I love
just like
that.
me tapping into that, and what is like the best way for me to approach a situation. You know what I mean? Like how can I approach a situation with light and with my higher self behind me, like supporting me.
Okay,
You
I
know what
see
I
that.
mean? So that is definitely my lighter self for sure.
How do you think that your inner child leads into your higher self then?
I would say I use my higher self as the adult who heals
Okay,
my inner child.
I feel that.
So, and also I use my higher self to help heal like the shadow parts of myself as well. So my higher self is just basically the
The
dad,
all being,
you know,
yeah.
yeah, the all
The
being
divine,
divine, feminine, masculine, like
yeah.
just hermaphrodite. I don't know if that's an
Yeah.
okay word to say,
That
but
is, yeah.
okay, right? The snails are
Yeah.
hermaphrodites.
Yeah.
Just a big snail.
Unix, yeah, you know, whatever.
Like I just want to use my higher self to just heal my inner self and my shadow self. Basically, is the simplest way. Like honestly, that part is just like they're always gonna be good. Sometimes I do notice though that like my higher self wants to do more than what I'm capable of at the moment. And
Okay,
I
I
have to
see.
kind of like chill out my higher self a little bit. Like I'm just like, you need to calm down. Okay, you don't have a physical body, you see. I am
Ooh,
living this life. I
here
can't
you
just
go.
go and drop everything to go and like go to like fucking India and
Yeah,
like you know.
and have an elephant
I mean, I
like you've
yeah, to
always
go like raise
wanted.
elephants in India. Like I just can't do that. Like I
Yeah,
can't adopt like every dog that I see on the street. Like I just don't want to pick up like like you have to like calm yourself down and be
yeah.
like, I can't fulfill that right now because I don't have the means to fulfill that.
Oh, okay, I see.
So because of my physical self, you know what I mean? My
Mm,
human self, which is also your shadow self.
right,
Yeah.
I see. So then I guess, what would you say? What would you say that your inner child does for your higher self then?
Ooh, my inner child, what does it do for the higher self?
Mm-hmm.
I would say just letting it flow out of me right now, like keeping it like light, even more light,
Yeah.
because that childlike wonder is like as is just so like
It's so precious.
precious. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so something that you have to hold on to in order
I
to
love
be a
that.
good artist, I feel.
Yeah.
And that's always my go-to is like how am I going to be the best artist? And that's like feeding my inner self, feeding my inner child what it
Damn.
wants.
That's such a good point too, because like your inner child is literally just a child. Like
Literally
this is just
just a child.
you as a kid. Like me looking back on, you know, how I was in elementary school, I was so inquisitive. I was so curious. I was really loud, and I was like,
All the good parts of your inner child.
yeah, I was so outgoing, and like I felt a little weird, yeah, at times, but I was so comfortable with myself because I was just a kid. I was like, "Oh, I don't care." Like, so what if you don't like me? I'm a kid. Like, blah blah
Period,
blah, you
period.
know, run around on the playground and have fun, you know.
For sure.
But I know that, you know, that is also a very
Run around on the playground.
privileged
I like that. Call back.
Yeah, it's also a very privileged sense of thinking because I know that not everybody has grown up, being able to go to school or being able to
For
go on
sure.
a playground and play with other kids. Maybe you're in an area that's not an option. You know what I mean?
For sure. Like some people are very like unfortunate. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
like disadvantaged, and it's
Disadvantaged.
not through any fault of your own or any of your parents. Sometimes it's the way that society is built, especially here in America.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's where the light self and the inner child come into
Mhm.
like doing um what's the word?
I f-
Volunteer work.
oh, okay, I see.
Like for my high school and college, like we had to do volunteer work,
Same.
and I feel like it was just so pleasing to me to do that kind of stuff, like helping
Really?
other people, and I feel like that was very healing towards my higher and or my inner child
Mhm.
and my higher self really like that.
Oh, okay, I
So
see.
I'm
That's
like,
really
might as
nice.
well, might as
Yeah.
well. That's the first thing I tell people when they're trying to like get out of like a funk, like go volunteer.
Yes.
Even with animals,
Yes, please,
like going
please.
to help clean the. I remember we went to go help clean the women's house. Like I don't know what it's
Women's
called.
house.
It's like where girls and women, like moms, go and stay whenever
Oh,
they don't
like a
have a place.
battered women's home. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that.
Okay.
And we cleaned that. That was so rewarding. Like just
That is
different
really
things that
nice.
help you feel better. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And like give you hope in like society
Yes,
because
and humanity and just life in
if
general.
you're just going through life thinking that like
It's just
it's just
good
gonna be good, like it's not.
or bad.
You have to make space for it to be good. Like you
Yes.
have to like provide the goodness to get the goodness.
Exactly. And like not everything will be good. Like you have to understand that
Hmm.
there's going to be bad, but it's just about how you perceive the bad times. It's about how you take those bad times and turn it into opportunities to grow and be better and be positive about it. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like even when I was a manager, like yeah, man, that shit sucked, but like
It totally drained you. I was there
yeah,
for that. I
yeah.
was there for her
Uh,
management era.
yeah. A
It
lot of
totally
y'all
did
were,
drain you.
and I'm so sorry. I'm sorry that I wasn't the best manager ever. But
You
also,
did your
I'm not
best.
sorry because I did do my
You
best.
did your
I
best.
tried my best. I try to do it for other people too. Like, and that's what a lot of people don't see is that behind the scenes, like a lot of people are probably rooting for you. A lot of people are probably trying to support you. It's just a matter of getting that help and asking for it too. So no, don't ever be afraid to ask for help from anybody, like especially people that you love and trust, that you say you love and trust. You know what I mean?
Can I ask you something though? Like, what
Yeah.
if you feel like you are really like, okay, I'm gonna ask my friend this, or I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna ask my boyfriend or girlfriend this,
Uh-huh.
but then they don't respond in the way that you like, and that's even more damaging. Like, is that what people are scared of? Like, how would you approach that situation now compared to then?
Well, so how I think is that I don't have any expectations for anybody anymore.
Period.
I don't expect anybody to respond the way that I want them to. I don't have like an expectation unless it's like, for business or something, like
Oh yeah,
or for school, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Everything
Those
is
are physical
definitive.
expectations.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's definitive, you know what I mean? But for emotional, mental, I have to be able to control my own reactions, my own emotions. I can't control anybody else's emotions or, if they want to help me, if they don't. That is totally okay and totally up to them if they want to support me or love me in that way. And if they say no, then I'll be like, okay, that's totally fine. I totally understand. I respect your wishes. I won't bother you about this again. Um,
Oh, sorry. Can I just interject?
yeah.
I would say like before you do tell somebody something serious about you
Mm-hmm.
emotionally, it's good to ask like if they have the space and time for you to
Yes.
like
Yes, very
put
much
that
so.
out there, because you
Yeah.
just don't want to trauma dump on somebody and then like you're
Yeah.
in a whole situation. Maybe they
Yeah.
react to trauma dumping in a certain way, and then now y'all are in this trauma dump
Yup.
relationship kind of vibe.
Yeah, which by the way, I'm so sorry to a lot of the people that I met like last year, the year before that,
Oh, snap.
because I feel like I did do a lot of trauma dumping without asking for their permission or like, asking, "Oh, is it okay if I tell you about this?" You know what I mean? I only recently started getting more into that because I'm an adult now, because I'm like, okay, well, what if this just turns people off from wanting to be my friend, or like maybe this is what makes people have an ick with me, you know what I mean, is me expressing my feelings and telling them what I've been through, you know what I mean?
Right.
And now that I have the group of friends that I have, I absolutely like feel so comfortable in my own skin. I love the people that I surround myself with, you know what I mean? It has taken a complete turn because, you know, I used to have absolutely no friends. I used to have people that absolutely disliked me, despised me for whatever reason. I have no idea, honestly, still to this day.
It doesn't even matter at this point.
Yeah, at this point it's them. It's not me. And I also now have so much love, so much support, and it's just like so much positive, bright energy around me because of the people that I surround myself with.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is also another part of, I feel like, higher self and inner child. I'm really like nurturing my inner child by telling her, like, hey, like, you are a good person. Like, you're a good person that loves to love, and it's okay that you love the way that you do, and it's okay to love hard. Like, that's how I feel about all my friends. Like, I love them so much. I love them to death. Like, I would literally, I would die for you. I would die for you. Nah. You maybe not. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you don't have to die for me. You don't have to.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I would.
It looks like we do have some messages though.
Ooh,
like,
yes.
very thick ones.
Big ones.
Some thick messages.
Steph.
What's the one with all the animals?
Ellie, let's start a sanctuary, angel.
Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me.
All of those animal emojis.
I want a panda.
I
would
love that.
Definitely love that.
He wants an elephant, honestly.
I do want a pygmy elephant.
Steph, I dated a guy who made me feel guilty for speaking of my positive childhood because his was bad. It made me feel almost ashamed of my own experiences and unable to share because of the trauma dump. I wanted to hear his part and help him through it, but didn't want the shame of sharing mine. Oh, baby. It is okay that you have
sharing.
No, yeah, thank you so much for sharing,
I
Steph.
think that's a good point to talk about.
Very much so.
Put your insight first.
I am so sorry that you didn't feel comfortable enough and ashamed of your good childhood, but it is such an awesome thing, and it's something that you should personally just be so proud of, is your upbringing, is that you have a closeness to your family and love for your family that, you know, is above all else, like just pure compassion. And it is okay for you to use those experiences and that lack of trauma to help other people with trauma to heal. Don't be ashamed to share your experiences. Maybe instead of sharing them, though, you can take your experiences and, you know, put it into something positive for him to learn from. You know what I mean? I don't exactly know how to get people to open up to you other than just outright asking them, but that is also just the fire sign in me.
For me, honestly, the way I get people to open up to me is like tarot card readings.
Okay, period.
Like a tarot card reading is definitely a good way to get people opening up. I don't even have to ask questions sometimes. People will just share with me.
That is so true. But I feel like...
But for a normal person, I don't know.
Yeah. For a normal person... For me,
for Audrey,
yeah. So it's all subjective, right? But for me, that's like communication is just key. Like I feel like tarot cards are good because they help you communicate what you feel, what you are outwardly, you know, feeling. Your intuition is feeling from this person. Obviously, you know, people can either catch the vibe or they can't. And if you can catch the vibe, especially with your loved one, like Ellie, you're struggling to communicate your feelings and trauma with your partner, and him being supportive when you need him, it makes you just want to hold things in. I totally understand that. That is also me.
Yeah, I do feel
very
that
much
as well.
so.
Yeah.
But I think that communication is just absolutely key, especially for male entities, those who identify as male.
I agree.
you have to be straightforward. You
Mm.
have to be straightforward because there's no beating around the bush with people who communicate their feelings just outright. You know what I mean? Like maybe they aren't even aware of their own feelings, but it's okay for you to just come from a loving space, from a positive energy.
That's where the light work comes in.
Exactly. And you have to like outright say that too, like, hey, babe, or baby, or honey, or dear, I am coming
Dearest.
from a good, honest place. I love you so much, and I want us to grow together.
Yep.
You know?
And then if they even still respond poorly, just knowing that for yourself that you started off like that,
Yes.
and they're reacting that way, they are projecting onto you like
Yes.
something.
Yes.
And you know in your heart that you try to come from a very light place. So
Yes.
just having that in yourself is like so good
Yes.
already. Like
Exactly.
you can walk away from that situation. I did my best.
Mhm.
I did my best.
Yes, ma'am.
And then
You did.
walk away just like, okay, that's it. Like I
Yes.
tried and I'm good.
Yes.
I'm good.
Mhm.
You know, and even in just after that, after the fact, you are like you putting that energy forward, they're gonna catch on to that.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they're gonna start thinking.
Mhm.
This is where psychology comes into play.
Yes.
When it comes to light work. It's very
It's a lot.
complex, honestly. I'm not gonna
Yes.
lie. It's not a baby topic. Like
It is not. Behavior, and especially human behavior, it's all over the place. But honestly, there's just so much that stems from your childhood, that stems from your inner child, that stems from how you were treated in your environment growing up, that it's so important to talk to your loved ones, especially those that you are closest to, especially significant others, your partners, your lifelong companions, people and things and entities that you want to surround yourself with. It is important to outright communicate your intentions with that person, entity, whatever, you know, even your cat, your dog, like
Period.
your horse, I don't care. You're
Not
a
the
horse girl, that's
Hey,
okay.
Horses are smart.
Yeah. They're so smart. And so are elephants. So
Period.
if you're an elephant girly, like he is.
I am an elephant girly.
Period.
I'm pretty sure I was an elephant in the past life. But it's
Yeah.
cool, it's cool.
You got to talk about your intentions. You have to let them know that this is what you think is best for you and your relationship and him or her or them.
Yeah, and you don't have to leave them to like get them on board.
Yes.
You know, like giving
Yeah.
like there was nothing wrong with giving chances. You know?
Yes. Or taking a step back, taking a break, you know, like letting each other breathe. Like it's good to have alone time. It's good to have time to really reflect on who you are as a person and how you're going to outwardly project yourself to the world.
Right.
Not just to like, you know, your significant other. Like your personality, it's good to have just a rounded personality that you can show to anybody and everybody. You know what I mean?
That's something I try to work on is having the same amount of love for all my friends, family members, my boyfriend. Like I want to treat everybody not the same, but I want to treat everybody with the respect that I have for them.
Right. Respect and compassion. And like, it's okay if, you know, your love is different or there's different priorities in your life. You know what I mean? Like, don't ever be afraid, though, to try and talk about your real things, your real self, your real issues and traumas with people, because those who absolutely adore you, who love you, who want to support you and want to be there for you are going to accept you in no matter what form you come in. You know, they will be there for you at your worst, at your sickest, at your healthiest, at your best, at your most positive, at your most negative. They should be willing to accept that because they should know that not everything is the same all the time. It should always be in a constant state of growth, and you know
that kind of deep relationship though comes with time.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
Comes with time and understanding
and trust.
of each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Period, girl.
Is there anything else on there?
Zitro said it's live. Yeah, we are live, period. Moxie, yeah, be you foremost. Yes, exactly. Be comfortable in your own skin. Don't be afraid
I
to
do
be
want
yourself.
Moxie to come on during June for Pride Month though.
I would love that. I would love that.
As our first
it is June almost.
guest. It's like right there.
Period. Yes.
So you heard it here
Ellie.
first, Mox.
You're right. I should leave him. What? No. Damn
I
it.
should
No.
just leave his ass.
No, well, wait. No,
Period.
that's not what we were
That's
saying.
not what we said. That's not what I said.
Ellie, also, I want to make a shout out to Steph. She has helped me out of a lot of dark times with just her personality and company. She is my saving grace.
Oh, I
Period.
love
Steph,
that. Come
honestly.
on, best friends. We're showing love and we're just showing love in the group chat.
Yes, no, I love that. Please show so much love to everybody who wants to share their traumas, to their past, you know
There's
what I
power
mean?
in testimonies.
Yes, exactly. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for being so supportive and compassionate. Ellie, don't break up with him. Maybe you just need to talk to him a little bit, serious. It's okay if you don't want to do it
I'm not gonna tell you
now.
what to do, but
Yeah,
use your higher self. That's what that episode's for, okay?
Damn it, girl. You got me. You got me. Because you know I'm going to say, okay, fine, go ahead, leave him.
I know, right?
I love you, girl.
That sounds like something we would say for real. Like, yeah, leave his ass.
Yeah, for real.
Fire sign energy.
Oh,
what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
See, I don't know. Can't do nothing.
Let's see. Are there any other points of... did you have any other questions about the lighter self portion?
Yes, actually. So... So actually we did have Jess
NPR, right?
Yes, NPR.
Yeah.
Yes,
Shout
period.
out Jess NPR.
She asked, or they asked, difference between doing stuff to heal your inner child versus just doing child activities.
Repeat
so
it
that
again.
was for our inner child. Difference between doing stuff to heal your inner child versus just doing child activities.
Okay, a little bit of backtrack. Gotcha.
Yes.
You want to answer it first and then I go?
So I think that this honestly goes hand in hand with higher self and inner child.
Perfect.
Because your higher self, they know what they want. They know what they want to do. They know how much compassion, how much positivity, how much energy that they have to put out into the world. And you can only really know that by doing the things that you enjoy. Go back to your inner child, what did you enjoy most doing as a kid? Did you like art class a lot? Did you like your language classes a lot? Did you like music class? Did you like PE? Like, what was it in your childhood that you felt your most happiest or maybe most at peace with? You know what I mean?
Did you like going to the zoo?
Yeah.
Did you like going on hikes? Did you like going to the botanical garden?
Yeah. Did you have maybe an animal that you really enjoyed, like had a family pet that you loved to take out on walks that you would play with every day after school? Like, just what did you like going to school? Maybe you love to educate yourself. Maybe you love to learn. Maybe you are a math person. Maybe you love solving problems. Maybe you like jigsaw puzzles.
Maybe
I'm
you
not
like to
here to
read.
judge.
I'm not a reader.
I am.
Go off. Go off if you like to read.
Exactly. I'm not an artist, but
do your art.
Period.
I feel like there's nothing. I feel like this is borderline like what is silly and what is not silly. I feel like that's the deeper question here. And I feel like there's nothing silly. Like silly to me is if like you're being careless with other people's emotions.
And
That's
your
silly
well-being
behavior.
also.
Also that, yeah. Also being careless with your well-being.
And other people's
well-being.
well-being.
I would say that's getting more into, that's probably not your inner child talking.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
That's probably like some self-destructive.
Because like going back to our inner child, your inner child is naturally like curious and inquisitive and innocent. It's not anything other than just, you were just born, girl. Like, right. Girl, come on. You were just born. Your eyes are just open. Don't be so
hard on yourself.
For the first time.
Like, imagine you're just taking your kid out and just letting them do whatever they want. Have a little date for yourself.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Please. Take yourself out and do
some
things.
Good food.
Yeah, or do things that, you've never done before or that you would never normally do to get to know yourself a little better. Like, but there was a time that I've never gone on a hike, but I went by myself out on a hike in the middle of summer in Texas. It was the worst. It was the stupidest idea that I had. But it also made me realize, like, hey, hey, this is a form of physical activity that I actually kind of enjoy doing because I saw a bunch of pretty flowers, I
Mm-hmm.
saw a lot of really cool animals like lizards and stuff. They were like,
Yeah, getting back in nature is always a good thing for me, honestly.
yeah, I
I'm a
met so
hippie
many
bitch,
dogs.
so
Yeah,
that's
period.
we're
We
hippie
are.
bitches, so
Obviously, with
obviously.
the
Well,
bell
not me, but
sleeves. No, yeah, you do
I
kind
feel
of.
like I'm pretty
Look,
hippie.
yeah,
The
period.
long hair, don't care
Yeah.
aspect.
The freshly brushed.
Period.
Okay.
Period. I put
Um,
conditioner.
but yeah, no. What about you? What do you think? Is there like a difference between doing child activities and
Just being childish.
inner
Like
child?
I said, just being childish to me is like being inconsiderate of other people's feelings. Honestly, like you feeling like you want to get too high and just be silly, I feel like it's not really feeding your inner child.
No.
That's more of like you dissociating yourself from actually being mindful and actually doing some work with your inner child. I'm not saying
Period.
there's anything wrong with getting high, but like,
Yeah, there's
just
nothing
like
wrong.
there's a place like where you overindulge.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
that's where your adult self should
That's
come in and
true.
be like, all right, well, that's enough fun for today. Let's go home and eat some food. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go home and take
That's
a nap
true.
now. You tuckered yourself out, little guy. You know what I mean? Like talking to yourself
Yeah.
like that, for real, like being your parent.
Aw,
And I
that.
feel like that's a good guide to not being silly.
A good guide to not being silly
Period.
is by knowing when to stop, knowing when to reel yourself back in, knowing when to have rest.
Very
Also,
grounding energy for
yes,
sure. Tapping
yeah,
into that Virgo Taurus Capricorn energy.
yeah. Period.
What is this?
Zetro, higher self, lightning
Period.
bolt, Moxie, they inner child, a brat. Oh, damn. Okay,
I'm not
girl,
saying
call
like
him,
there
call
are
him
so
out.
many different types of inner children, honestly. Like
Yeah,
so many different types.
there are so many different types.
Like your inner child isn't gonna be the same as my inner child.
No, and
Merlin's inner child isn't gonna be the same as your inner child. Like
no, definitely not.
so.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
That is totally okay. And especially like, as an adult, you'll meet a lot of people that, maybe all of your interests aren't the same. You won't have all of the same commonalities. You maybe weren't brought up the same way either. And that is
This goes
totally
back to like
okay.
what Stephanie had said too.
Yeah, exactly.
Like maybe their inner child and your inner child just are not compatible.
Yeah. But I mean, that's okay because that's your inner child, you know what I mean? This is you out in the present now. And, maybe even then you aren't compatible. That is totally okay too. It's just about knowing yourself.
Period.
You can't really know anybody else until you know
Know
yourself
period.
completely and fully. And I didn't really realize that up until this point either because
This is getting into shadow work.
Yes,
For sure. This is a
yeah.
good transition into shadow work.
Nice. Nice. Okay, cool. Because I honestly am not super well versed in shadow self, shadow work because I just got to my highest point, like thinking about my higher self and really working towards that. So I have been thinking about doing some shadow work. So whenever we start talking more in depth about it, I would love for you to take over. But
sure.
I guess for me, whenever I would think about my higher self and my inner child, they're always, it's not just about all of the good things, Obviously, there are a lot of bad times. Sometimes there are times that I'm ashamed of, having such a good life, Sometimes there were times when I was in middle school, high school that I would lie because I thought that my life was going a little too well. And I would lie to downgrade myself, and
Would you believe your own lies?
no.
No.
No. And so that's why it was very obvious that I was lying
Oh, gotcha.
about like how I was down bad. But now I realize like, as an adult, like why did I try to make myself sound like I'm going through even harder, more difficult times than I really was, you know what I mean? Like it shouldn't be like that, I should be proud that my family got themselves off their feet. I should be proud that, my mom is a flight attendant and I get to have discounted flights. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't something that I should be ashamed of. This is something that I should hold my head up high and be like, hey, this is a part of me that I am not ashamed of at all. Like, I am very proud of how far I've gotten, but there is, of course, that darker side of me, that shadow side of me, that anxious and honestly very depressed side of me that I had dealt with for so long, just because either my ego was hurt, my pride was hurt, or I myself emotionally and mentally was hurting. And I was depriving myself of, like, I guess, the love and the support that other people were offering me, or that I wasn't offered, you know what I mean? And just really dwelling in that energy, that negative side of things, without really having.
A way to climb out.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't know how to process it. I didn't know exactly how to go through it. So I would dissociate and I would smoke. I would smoke a lot. Like, I started smoking when
Been
I
there.
was 16,
Oh
honestly.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was, I was super young when I started.
A lot of people
15,
a lot of people smoke
actually.
really young,
Yeah,
and I feel like it really affects their mentality. So how was that journey?
very much so. It was a really long journey. It was like such it because it still continues, honestly.
Right.
But I get to, like, take a step back now and realize, like, hey, it wasn't not okay. It wasn't not okay to smoke at that point. I just felt like it was more of like a social thing for me to do because the people I was around were in the same mindset as me. They were in the depressed and the anxious and the mentally unstable, like, kind of like also on puberty, kind of, riding out that ride. It was a pretty bad time. And so having that break and smoking and dissociating and, not having to worry every single day and have those anxious thoughts, like, it really calmed me down. And it calmed me down off of the stoop that I was on, that I was so close to jumping off of. You
Right.
know what I mean? So for me, and also, by the way, I don't know the number for it, but I will post it in the description when we post this video. But if you guys have any troubles with suicide, with your mental health, please call the mental helpline. There's also websites that I will also link underneath, so that you can get help. But this is going to be a very triggering
Yeah, let's put a little
topic.
warning right here.
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure. A
Shadow
little
work.
warning. I was suicidal for a really good part of my middle school to high school life. And for me to get to that point and let myself get to that point, it's it wasn't about me letting myself get to that point. It was more about me just trying to survive and be okay with what was happening. Because at that age, at that point in time, it's like you never really knew who was on your side and who wasn't. You didn't know about who was talking behind your back and who was actually there for you to be you,
And everything is such a big deal at that age. Because it's the
Exactly.
first time you're experiencing it.
Yeah, exactly. So it was really easy for me to, like, just jump to that conclusion, like, maybe life would just be better if I didn't live at all. You know what I mean? And for me to have that kind of mindset and now to never have that thought in my head, biggest contrast I've ever had in my life. Like literally 2 years ago, back in 2021, like I literally was like, what is the point of me living if I can't even, have the future that I wanted for myself? But it's all about adapting. And shadow work is, I feel, all about adapting as well. It's about adapting your, darkest thoughts and being able.
Transmuting.
Exactly. Transmuting it into something more light, more positive, and, taking those worries and learning how you want to deal with it. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Because you are going to deal with your issues in a different way that somebody else will deal with your or their issues. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Like, the way that I talk to myself is going to be different the way that you talk to me. And the way that I, express my past to you, it's important for me to know that you are understanding me so that I know you have the best, like,
Understanding.
yeah, just like you have the best intentions for me. You know what I
Okay.
mean? I, like, it's not like a test that I put all my friends through, but it's more of like, I wonder if they think the same as me, or I wonder if they're going to be able to support me whenever I can't support me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a really important talk to have with yourself, like, you know, especially if you don't know if you can trust other people. Like, it's okay to test the waters a little bit at
The setting
first.
expectation thing or not having any expectation thing.
Exactly. Like, if you go in there not having any expectations, then you can have a better understanding of the person that's sitting right across from you.
Right.
And honestly, whenever I did meet you, I didn't have any expectations at all whatsoever meeting you. Like, I just thought that we were just going to be roommates and then, like, we would split paths, you know what I mean?
Right.
But at the end of the day, I didn't expect for you to ask me all about me. I didn't expect you to ask me about whatever I'm going through currently and for you to actually listen. Um, I know that other people's experiences can be very different, and I can only hope that other people will have an Angel or an Audrey in their life as well. But it's just so important to have so much compassion for yourself when you do shadow work, and that's why we really want you to focus on, or at least I focus on my inner child and my higher self before I go into my
Yeah,
shadow
I'm gonna
work.
co-sign that also because I just think it's good to have that framework before you dive into the shadow self because the shadow self is like very much dealing with triggering topics,
Mm-hmm.
like the most triggering topics that you could possibly bring up to yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and it's all about getting through it. You know, with your higher self and your inner child.
Yeah.
And you know, this is where the therapy thing comes back into play because
Mm-hmm.
like not all of us are professionals, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
It was very much a trial and error thing. I've never been to therapy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very much just like me just trying to see what works and what doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And but I do highly recommend therapy, honestly. Like I
Yeah.
really do. Because honestly all this work it could have been so
I
much
do.
easier with therapy.
Do you think that you have accomplished what therapy could have accomplished for you?
I do think that. I
Mm-hmm.
do think that.
Nice.
Just because I listen to a lot of psychology things on YouTube. Like I
Mm-hmm.
try to educate myself on that, like what I was feeling and going through.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when I did start doing my shadow work when I was in Colorado.
Oh, okay, nice.
So it was very much just like a learning process. Honestly, I probably started it even before then. I started it in Corpus when I was working at GNC. It's
Oh,
like when I
wow.
was starting to get in deeper into that.
Wow. So a while ago.
Yeah, it was I don't know, like 3 years ago maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow, really?
maybe somewhere around there. But
That's really good though.
yeah, it was all about just like what makes me feel happy.
Mm-hmm.
And like if something comes up, it's because my shadow brought it up.
Okay.
So it's very much dealing with yourself, whereas doing the inner child is more about like, you know, focusing on your past. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like shadow work is more about focusing on your current self.
Okay.
And like it's going hand in hand with being a human and
Oh,
like all the
okay.
things that come with a human, like your body.
Oh, I see.
Like
Okay.
maybe your freaking shoulder hurts that week and you don't feel like being extra nice to customers. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and that's okay. You know, you got to give your body, and that's part of your shadow work is like
Yeah.
being able to be like, yeah, I'm not doing this today. I'm not going all out. I'm going to just chill out today
Mm-hmm.
because my body hurts or
Yeah,
because
okay.
my, like, I freaking have a hangover, like just chilling out and like, you know, like giving
Girl,
your,
take that
take
res.
that rest, you
Put
know.
your head to bed, girl.
Being burned out, you know what I mean? Giving yourself like the
Mm.
space to like recover from being burned out. Like I burned myself out so many times back in
So
the
many
past.
times, girl.
Mostly my throat, like my throat chakra really suffered a lot.
And it, to this day, even.
To this day, honestly. But that's just because like I feel like honestly, if you want me to be real, like I feel my throat
Yes.
chakra is or my physical throat is so fucked up because my throat chakra when I was a child was so like closed off and not like I
Oh.
completely shut down my throat chakra, especially in middle
No.
school to like high
No.
school. Like I wasn't very vocal unless you really knew me. And I
Right.
feel like throughout that time my throat became weak and it just started to get every time I did try to express myself louder and louder, the more I got older, the more confident I got. My throat wasn't allowing me to do that because it was just so weak. And now I get like strep throat all the time. Like I've gotten strep throat so many times.
Yeah.
And it's just
Wow.
like, I think that's like, in my opinion, I think it's caused from just being put
From
down so
you.
many times and putting myself down.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it manifested in a physical sense.
Right, yeah. And
If that makes
honestly,
sense.
no, it does. It does to me, especially like cuz I truly nowadays I truly believe that manifesting is like something that is so powerful. And we'll definitely have an episode
Yeah,
about
that's a whole episode by
manifesting
itself.
and intentions. But I've seen it work its way, like the negative and the positive, you know what I mean? Like the more that you put out there is what you're going to attract. So if you're
Mm-hmm.
putting out negative energy, you're going to attract that negative energy.
Mm-hmm.
The more you put positive energy out there, the more that you're going to attract that and magnetizes you. You know what I mean? Like I feel very powerful now because the more that I spread my positivity, the more that I spread like this beautiful potential energy, the more that I get back, the more energized I feel by other
Yep.
people,
I think
by
so as
my
well.
surroundings. I like before when I was suicidal, I felt like the world was so black and white. Like it was so gray. In some cases, some people that are so traumatized, they literally cannot see any color. Some people that are so traumatized can't
That's
even
crazy.
feel. Like some like
They're just numb.
yes, exactly. And
The mind is
that's
powerful. The mind is so
exactly.
powerful.
It is so powerful. And, you know, if you are experiencing any one of these symptoms, please don't come to us for these issues.
Yeah.
Please, if you have the means, go find yourself a therapist because it is so powerful how many like studies there are out there right now and are being conducted that are here just solely to help you, help the human experience grow from just being so surface level into something way more and something that is
That's what
just
shadow work is all about. Like trying to make
exactly.
your life more than what it is in
Yes.
your perception.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like we have some comments in regards to this.
Yes.
Let's see.
Clarinel Alanis.
That's my aunt.
Oh,
Hey,
hi. Hi,
girl.
Auntie.
Oh my gosh.
They said self-awareness of your shadow self is the first step so many don't know how to take
Yep.
and is the biggest hurdle of positive self-healing.
Yep.
Hashtag love all of you. Oh, I love the
Thank you,
compassion, period.
babe. She's an
Thank you so
Aries.
much. Thank you. Oh, Aries.
Aries.
Go off,
Your shadow
Aries.
self, your shadow work is definitely the hardest thing that you're going to have to do in your life. You're basically
Yes.
becoming just more.
Well, becoming more? What do you mean by that?
Becoming more in the sense of like you're just broadening the understanding of yourself and like how to
Mm,
express yourself more.
okay.
More. Just like it's going to be difficult, but I feel like taking steps, doing your research, going to therapy
Okay.
are all like definitely positive steps in that direction.
Okay.
It is a hard
Good.
step, like accepting that you need that
Yeah.
and then
Talking to
actually doing
yourself.
it.
Period.
Talking to yourself.
The other comment we have Ruben. Hi, Ruby.
Thanks for staying, Ruben.
Yes. They said, and therapy is really only a tool, just like astrology, journaling, and a bunch of this other stuff. It's providing a terminology and common ground to communicate our inner self, like literal inner self, to others. Nice. And
I
that's a
love
very
that.
good
That
point.
was a nice little boom, 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 period. That was a nice boom, boom, boom.
I'm so sorry for Angel,
Sorry about
y'all.
him.
But yeah. Anyway.
And then somebody left.
Yeah. I said now he's just saying words to
Now he's
say
just
words.
saying shit. I don't
He
take
just
this
likes
guy
to hear himself
seriously.
talk, y'all. I don't know if you
Period.
know this about Angel.
I
But
do though.
me too, though. I like to hear myself talk. No, thank you for talking about
Yeah,
that.
thank you.
I think that that is really a good way to express how therapy is honestly just a stepping stone.
Yeah.
Like therapy is a stepping stone for you to get to know yourself a little bit better. And once you feel like you have launched into your own self-healing journey, then you are totally welcome to take your own healing into your own hands. If you find yourself, you know, with like if you find yourself attaching to like a certain kind of spirituality, like any
Run
kind of
with it.
religion,
Run with it.
any kind of astrology, yeah, definitely. Like go ahead, do practice whatever makes you feel
Run with
comfortable.
it until you don't want it.
Exactly. It is okay for you to try out different churches, different groups, different communities. There's societies, there are people that just want the best for you. You know, there's also other people out there, and be very wary, be very intuitive. You know what I mean? Keep keep an eye on your mindfulness. Keep an eye on your intuition, because that's really what's going to help you on your self-help, on your self-healing journey.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I've gone to several churches. I've gone to all different kinds of churches that, you know, study the Bible. They study the Book of Mormon, or they said not the Book of Mormon.
Not the book.
That's
good
a
show,
musical.
though. That's a good show,
Yeah. But like, you know, Joseph Smith, they talk about, you know, Mother Mary, or they follow the Quran. I've been to so many different temples, mosques, churches, services, and all of it is really great, you know, in their own way. But it's just about finding the one that fits you the most. And the one that fits me the most, I don't really even know, honestly. Like, yeah, astrology is really cool. I like it a lot, but I don't take it into every facet of my life. I
Mm-hmm.
don't let it be the defining factor of me or my spirituality. I just take it as it is, and then, you know, if it just so happens to align with astrology, it just so
It
happens to
just does
align.
it. I don't know
It
what to
just
say.
does, and most of the time,
It
TBH,
does.
it really fucking is. Unfortunately.
My spirituality is more of like associating icons with like things that are prominent. Like the moon for me
Mm-hmm.
is very like feminine. So I'll bring in my like Catholic background and associate that with Mary.
Ooh,
But
okay,
I'm not
listen.
actually like praying to Mary. I'm praying more to like feminine energy itself.
Right.
Divine
Yes.
feminine energy.
Yeah.
And
Good.
whereas like I'll use Saint Michael as like the protector.
Mm.
And so I'm more of like tapping into that protecting energy. I'm not actually like saying this
Saint Michael,
entity,
like,
Saint Michael,
yes.
exists,
Yeah.
but I do use them as like a visual in my mind in order to tap into
That's
like
awesome.
getting out of like negative situations, especially during like really stressful moments.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm gonna definitely pray for strength from, you know, the protector, which is Saint Michael in my
Right.
opinion, you know. And I only use it because like I've been practicing that for so long, like the Saint Michael prayer, the Hail Mary prayer, like I could say it without even thinking.
Oh wow.
So
Okay.
it's just also goes back into that inner child work of like, because I was raised that way, so we did the rosary every night when I was a kid.
Okay, I see.
So that's why it's just so easy
Wow.
to like get back in that mindset, because I've been meditating for so long.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
And it's just you associate it with the Catholic upbringing that you had.
Right. It's kind of like similar to like when the Spaniards came and they used certain, the Aztecs or Mayans would use certain, or indigenous people would use certain
Like
saints
idols, yeah, or
to
yeah, saints.
represent actually what they believe in.
Right.
So it's basically, I'm kind of like repeating that in the sense
Ah.
of like divine feminine, divine masculine, divine protector,
Oh, nice.
divine shadow,
Okay.
you know, like all these different parts, like just doing them
How cool.
and helping me move forward.
Yeah, and I feel like that goes hand in hand with compartmentalizing as well.
For sure that, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
and-
definitely that as well if you get into psychology.
Yeah. And you also taught me this too, where you're like, okay, well, you know, what do you imagine as like, you know, your sexual
yeah.
self? And I'm all like, oh, a siren, you know, like, oh yeah, I'm that siren bitch. I'm gonna fucking call these sailors
Right.
over. Yeah.
There are so many different ways to like have fun with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what do you imagine
love that.
this entity, like this
Yeah.
maybe like you're trying to work on your finances and you need an inner person for your finances.
Yeah.
And then you're all like, okay, what does my financial person look like? To me, it's myself, but with like square glasses.
Oh my god, what's that movie? That
is it?
The Inside Out, or is it?
Yeah,
is it called?
basically
Yeah,
kind of
right?
inside outing
Oh.
yourself.
Oh, I love that.
So I
though.
just have like a council of people that I go to. I'm like, so what do you think is the best
Period.
solution for us? Like, what are you thinking?
Please help me.
And then that's where like maturity and like wisdom and like everything kind of like spews out.
Oh, okay.
And then even like I'm asking St. Michael for like assistance of like being like more masculine in this situation.
Okay.
Like recently I just gave my boss like a presentation and I was like, I wasn't expecting to be nervous, but I was hella nervous because like I don't know how this person's gonna react. So I, went to St. Michael and I asked him for some help, and it like went. It's just reassuring yourself to like do better.
Oh,
You know
okay,
what I mean?
nice. Yeah.
So that kind
I
of,
see.
yeah. It looks like it cleared up outside. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, it's getting better. It's getting
Yeah.
better. It might rain a little more, but it's okay.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. I want to hear about
Yes.
you and like, do you have like a council? Like you talked about your siren.
Oh yeah.
So tell them more about that. Like compartmentalizing, but like with entities.
So for me, I honestly like this is also another podcast is like thought processes
Okay.
because
I remember I did want to do that.
yeah, because I feel like I have a very different way of thinking other than like your way of thinking.
No, for sure.
And I know that other people, also have very different ways of thinking, which is totally okay. Everybody's welcome to, describe their thought process. Also, if you guys have any questions about inner child, higher self, or shadow self, you're welcome. The comment section is a free for all. And
Yeah, we'll
also,
answer
please spread love. We'll answer more of these Instagram questions after this. But compartmentalizing me, I personally have never really thought of that up until you asked me, like, oh, imagine, like during sexy time, or like, oh, your most intimate self. Like, how would you express that in your head? You know what I mean?
Why
Like,
did I
how
ask
would you
to
think
do
about
that?
that? I think it was because I was having issues with like finding my most sexy self, or like
Feeling
finding,
confident
feeling
in the sexual
confident.
sense.
Yeah, that. And then also, you asked me about like, I guess my family and like my compassion, and also like the people pleasing aspect of me too. Like all of it goes hand in hand because all of it is about respect and compassion and self-respect and self-compassion as well.
Period.
And so I like thought about compassion as like a dog, like loyal, always there for everybody, you know what I mean? Like will love you no matter what, kind of energy, which I love. Compassion is like one of my biggest things that I like.
It's one of your pillars.
Yes, yeah, exactly. That's what I was basically raised on, you know what I mean? Is treat others the way that you want to be treated. That is compassion at its core. But I compartmentalize that into a dog. So then for my intimate part, I compartmentalize it into a siren. She is a siren, which is me, but like mermaid and sexy. I don't know how that
Very
works, but
voluptuous.
yeah, but very like, giving.
She's giving cunts.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to say that?
Period. That's fine. Whatever.
That's fine. Whatever.
We already said fuck like 50 times,
Right.
but that's fine.
Cunt is basically the same.
Pretty much. But I don't know. Like other than that, my thought process is a very different thought process. I put a lot of things into like words, and like then whenever I read back on my words, I imagine myself going through it. You know what I mean? And the myself in my head is different from the outside self, because in my head, there are
You
no
think you're gonna
restrictions.
react. You think you're gonna act a certain way, but then you get
That
into the
too.
situation.
Yeah, that too. My physical self is very afraid of repercussions and consequences of my actions.
I'm dead.
Just thinking about consequences makes me
Keep on getting coffee, but I
sweaty, clammy.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, you ran out. Oh, you can have some of mine.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I. Did you guys see that? He just gave me the crack eyes. This guy's crazy. Get us some coffee. Your coffee's over there, by the way.
You want some? I'll
Here.
pour you some of mine.
Okay.
You finish your thought.
Thanks. No, you're good. But yeah, no, I don't really like have a specific entity or idol for any of my like thought patterns or thought compartments, really. I do a lot of journaling. I do a lot of thinking through that. My shadow self also comes out in my journaling a lot. shit, I every time that I have like a negative thought, every time that I put myself down, like, and actually put myself down, that I can't like that I can't claw myself out of that hole, I write that down.
Ooh,
Like,
that's good practice.
generally, you know what I mean? Like, oh, sometimes I could be like, oh, I look a little ratchet today, but that's okay because we're working on ourselves
We're
today. Like,
working.
I'm
Skincare
gonna stay
routine on
in
lock.
today, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I look a little ratchet, but that's okay, you know? But there are times that I'm like, oh, I feel like shit, I look like shit, you know, like there are times that I really put myself down. And that's when I really write down all of my thoughts and I'm like,
I
okay,
would do that with
why?
my body a lot. Like
Yeah.
I would always put down my body.
Mm-hmm.
Both of my parents would always make, not to like throw them under the bus or nothing, because I love them,
For sure.
and they're always like hyping me up now. But back then, welcome. They would always put my body down. Like I basically thought I had the
same.
most disgusting body,
Literally
and
same.
like I just did not feel any type of connection to like being positive about it at all.
Man, that sucks.
So
I
it's
know.
been kind of more of a recent development that I've been okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
But like in order to start my physical journey of like getting my body right, I had to accept where my body was.
Oh, okay.
So
Good. Yes, ma'am.
I feel like that was coming from a shadow self, which was also stemming from my child self. And getting that resolved allowed me to go move forward into like becoming bigger,
Yes. Yeah.
like physically,
Like, yeah,
stronger,
muscular,
bigger.
yeah.
The body that I would like for myself, I'm giving it myself,
Yes. Yeah.
or giving it to myself.
And honestly, that's a big thing that I struggled with too.
Your body.
Because my family would also like put me down all the time. Like, and they would always do it in like Chinese so
They
that
would
us
use shame.
kids wouldn't like really understand. But little do they know, I learned Chinese when I was a kid. My
how
first
could you-
language was Chinese. And so, like, every time that they talk about their kids and they would talk about us in Chinese, I would know that it
They're talking
was.
shit.
Yeah! I'd be like, all right, post up then.
Literally me.
No, but I would
That's
hear
a good
them
way
like.
to get a bad attitude.
Exactly, it is. And I did have a bad attitude, and I looked at myself like I was really truly ugly, you know what I mean? And I wouldn't take care of myself because I kept putting myself down like that. And now that I'm older, I tell myself, like, even if it's just a joke, I did it as a joke as at first whenever I was first becoming an adult. I was like, "Oh, girl, you look good today. You look hot as fuck."
Yeah,
And, like I would
lying.
say it all silly, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'd be like, "Oh my god, look at you busting up like that." But then like I started believing myself.
Right.
And the more that you tell yourself that you are beautiful, the more that you tell yourself that you are divine, the more that you fit into that role. So like
I would say so.
that's kind of like the manifesting part also, is like just manifest better for yourself.
We should talk about that next week since it's come up so many times.
Honestly, we should.
Yeah.
We should. And I feel like that really does go hand in hand with inner child, higher self, and shadow self as well. I see you keep looking at the screen.
I just saw the cult.
Oh, okay. Ruben, thank you so
Thanks,
much
Ruben.
for offering that to us. If you have a link to any of the ones that you like, please link it down in the comments.
Yeah, whichever quote you like the most, just let us know.
Whichever one has the tastiest Kool-Aid, I would say.
Stop.
As specifically grape, if they do.
Ooh, okay, I like
yeah,
grape.
right.
If that's the way it's gonna go, let's do it.
Yeah. Okay,
Any
let's
questions
see.
about shadow?
Yes.
Feel
So
free to ask questions about shadow in the chat as well.
I believe Destiny. I love
Shout out
Destiny.
Destiny.
I love her. She asked, "How do you work on your shadow self if you are just beginning?"
You want? Oh.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say you should ask. You should say something.
So if you're
first.
just starting, your shadow self is just all about mindfulness. I feel like just getting started, like you want to go through your life, just do your daily thing. If you notice anything triggers you or like you have any negative thoughts, you want to be mindful of those thoughts.
Yeah, like pause.
Pause and
Think
ask
about it.
yourself, you know, where is this going? Why am I doing this?
And if it helps, say it out loud.
Say it out loud.
Literally pause. Stop what you're doing and just be like, why did I just feel that way just now?
Mm-hmm.
I had that moment a lot of times, honestly, as
Tell
a
me about
manager.
one of those. Just one.
Okay. I'm gonna stop you after the one. Okay. So as a manager, I had to deal with.
Sorry, I just
No,
want to
it's
say,
okay.
like, you remembering this is an example of like shadow self popping up.
Yes.
So go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
literally.
Just wanted to
No,
say that.
no, that's good. No, that's good. So this is an example, I guess, of me tapping into that energy. I was a manager and I had to deal with a lot of employees and employees that I didn't like, or employees that I'm not fond of because of how they presented themselves to me. Specifically, this busser. Don't choke it.
Keep saying Pacifically.
This because you kept saying it.
I'm
Was,
sorry,
I was
it's
all
so
like,
funny to say.
yeah, whatever. It's because he doesn't know English.
Period. Go ahead.
So, this one guy, he was a busser, and I didn't particularly like him because of the way that he was acting, because he was on drugs. He was a meth head. And
Oh, homeboy. I remember.
little do people know, I guess, that my late boyfriend was also involved in meth and meth activities. Um, so for me to be confronted with that kind of energy, like almost,
Trigger warning, by the way.
yes, trigger warning, by the way, I'm so sorry, about drug addiction and meth. He really brought it up in me that I am not okay around people that are on that specific drug because honestly, I have seen and looked at so many people in the eyes and I can tell that they are on that shit. Like I can tell that their mind, their face, their everything, their intentions are completely altered. Like they could be
Their
one
whole
of
brain
the
chemistry.
exactly. They could be one of the best people. They were one of the best people that I knew. You know what I mean? Like, and I saw that best deteriorate into the worst, the absolute, the shittiest like person that I
Very
could,
traumatic.
ever face because they would use all of my weaknesses against me, all of my vulnerabilities. They would pit them against me, and and seeing him would trigger me and put me back into that place of like I felt helpless, I felt vulnerable, I felt called out for being so weak and weak-minded, you know what I mean? And for me to really face that person every day at work was honestly just so mentally exhausting. And like the more and more that I went in and he would be there, the more and more I would feel myself just dragging along and not wanting to do my job. Like there were so many times that I just couldn't look at him in the eyes or in the face, and I know that he doesn't know what he did wrong. He didn't do anything wrong, to me. He didn't do anything wrong.
Not directly, yeah.
Not directly,
But
but
he does trigger a memory.
yeah,
Or some
exactly.
memories.
And I never communicated that to him, which, I didn't feel like was necessary
No,
for me
definitely
to
not.
at all talk to him about, because this is my own journey, this is my own healing process. But like that was the time that I felt the most, I don't know, my most shadow self was projecting itself out onto,
The real world.
yeah, exactly.
So how did you cope with that?
So for me,
Or where did it go from there, I guess?
from there, I removed myself from the situation. So every time that, he would come up to me, every time that he would talk to me, I would, try to give him my best short answer. I would try to like look him in the eyes and I would try to confront it head on, which honestly isn't the best idea, especially for people who are like me, are sensitive. I am a Cancer moon, so I'm very sensitive.
Cancer
I'm a
moon.
very emotional person. And I'm very in touch with my emotions now, though. But back then I wasn't. And so I would have to pause before I talked to him. I would literally have to go to the office. I would have to separate myself from everybody and everything, all the noise, all the music. And I would have
Which
to
is
be
hard.
like, yeah. And I would let myself cry it out. I literally have cried in that office so many times. I would literally tell myself, like, it's okay. Whatever frustrations, whatever feelings you have right now, get it all out. Like, and I would let myself cry for a few minutes until it would stop, and then I would wipe it all off, powder myself up again, and I would get back out there and I would confront him. Not confront him, but I would communicate with him. And I just want to say, like, especially when you're dealing with your shadow self, it's okay to feel your feelings. Please feel them. Like, and it's so important to like be in touch with your physical self, because it all stems up here, from your mental self, from your mental well-being. The more that you are in touch with yourself and your surroundings, the more in touch that you feel with your mental well-being and your mental health. The more control that you feel like you have over yourself as well. So for me to be able to tell myself, hey, it's okay, girl, like, let it out, just cry it out, it pushed me so much further into my higher self, my shadow work, my everything, my good energy.
Just becoming more.
Yes, exactly. Becoming more. It made me feel good about having feelings. You know what I mean? Like, having feelings is a good thing, guys. Like,
I wouldn't want to live in a world where
there's none. Where there's just stoicism. Like, that's a life without any fun, really, honestly. And I don't like that.
Our group chat is blowing up.
Nice. Steph, my love. Same. My ex was abusive toward me, and now every single man that gives me any type of attitude triggers me. Period, girl. Same. I manage to and should compartmentalize because I am management, but it's difficult now. Girl, I heard that. I understand. I acknowledge in myself it should be different, but it doesn't help me stop the trigger cycle. I'm still learning how. And that's okay, girl. Like, please be patient with yourself.
Yeah, be patient.
It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in a day, not in a week, maybe not even in a month. Like, please give yourself time. The more that you put yourself out there and like expose yourself raw to these kinds of trigger points, to these situations, the more experience that you're going to have in controlling your reactions and your feelings towards these certain people or situations.
Oh, I just heard in my head a quote. It was, wisdom is crystallized pain.
Oh, period.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you know who said that?
No. I don't. I just heard it on a card reading once.
That's okay. Somebody Google it, please.
Somebody Google it.
Yeah,
if y'all
thank
really
you.
give a fuck. Let's be honest. Your shadow self doesn't
It's
give
okay
a fuck.
if you don't Google it. That's fine. That's fine.
Is that it?
Is that it? Yes, from Steph. Okay. Yes.
Thank you, Steph, for sharing again.
Yeah, thank you again. Please.
And I hope you get everything that you want in life.
Yes, ma'am. You deserve it. Really, you're the epitome of working on yourself and healing, and in such a strong feminine and masculine way.
Balance.
You are very balanced as a person, I feel.
Capricorns. What are you going to do?
No, that's so awesome. Like, acknowledging that you need work is the first step, really, honestly. And it doesn't even include your inner child, your higher self, or your shadow self. Just admitting to yourself that you need help or that you need to work on yourself is absolutely like life-changing. And like, thank you so much for doing that for yourself and for the other people that are around you. It's very hard for a lot of people to even admit that they need help, or that
people
they need
admit
to heal.
And they don't want to take any like advantage over anything that is in their life.
They won't take the first step, you know what I mean?
They'll
like,
just
are
like,
living.
I'm a piece of shit, and then they'll just keep going.
Exactly.
Being a piece of shit.
And that's not good, because you have to try. You have to try.
You have to take responsibility for yourself in your life, because nobody else is going to do it for you.
Yeah, exactly. You can't expect other people to either.
No. And then like,
so
I feel like this is where it goes back into masculine energy that's toxic, is like the lack of masculine doesn't want you to like, or I guess, how do I say this? Like, your lack of masculine energy is preventing you from going and getting better, more.
Right.
So not people wanting other people.
Holding you back.
It's holding you back, not applying that masculine energy in your life. And then you expecting other people, like a woman, to make you better.
Ooh, like you're
waiting for a woman to like enhance you to feel really into your masculine energy and then you'll be a good guy. Like, that's not how that works.
No, that's not.
You know?
And same vice versa, like, oh, you're gonna be the best woman that you can possibly be, but
For your
only
man.
because, only because you have a man in your life. That's not.
No, that's not
That's
how that
not a
works.
good thing to think.
I mean, it did help, like, the early, like, in the 1950s, like, before, even before
when
that.
society was structured like that.
Yeah, but definitely
With
we
an
have
atomic
moved past
family.
that. Like,
Yeah.
we noticed that it didn't work, and it's not gonna.
It's not sustainable.
It's
It's
not
not
sustainable.
sustainable towards a future that we are progressing towards.
What did Andrew say?
Zetro, he said Rudolf Steiner. Oh, that was the person who quoted that.
Oh, thank you, Andrew. Thank you so
Andrew.
much.
I appreciate that.
What a doll.
Yeah.
Were there any other
He's a
questions?
big dumb dummy.
Yeah, he's a dummy.
Not him, you.
Oh, me?
Yes.
Okay. Checks out.
What about you? How did you work on your shadow self when you were just beginning? Do you have any like specific instances that you could recall?
When I moved back to Corpus,
Ooh.
it was like in the middle of COVID. Like my whole life basically fell apart, and like I wasn't able to afford rent. I wasn't able to. My grandpa was dying.
Oh, yep.
And like I wasn't doing too well in my relationship. Like I was depending too much on them to like make me feel happy, or any relationship that I had, because I was just jumping into relationships. And it just wasn't sustainable. So it eventually fell apart, and I had to move back to Corpus. And I was just so depressed for even like falling, because for me Corpus was the ultimate like failure.
No, okay.
So it's basically I failed so hard.
Wow.
Rock bottom for sure. And that's when I remember I was laying down on my sister's bed, because I didn't have a bed there. I was laying in a kid's sister twin size bed with like.
And he's over 6 feet tall, y'all.
Yeah,
he's
over
over
6 feet.
tall.
Like I had no business sleeping in a bed like that.
Yeah.
And me and my man were over at the time, and my parents were going through stuff. My brothers were doing their thing. My sister was doing her thing. And I just felt like a loser. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's when I started working on my shadow self a lot, is when I took the first step into acknowledging that things could be better. I could make this work. You know, like, yeah, I fucking fell, but there's no reason for me to stay down.
Yeah.
You know? And so I got a job. My friend Sergio got me, or I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say his name. My bad. My friend Sergio got me a job at GNC. And I worked at GNC, and I would practice my breath work there.
Yeah.
I got a partner who was like very much reawakened my spirituality and like my knack for, doing witchy stuff. Because I had that in high school, but then I lost it.
Oh, okay.
Because I was ashamed of it. And then she kind of like reignited that light in me again.
Wow.
But that was only for that moment. And then we kind of like fell apart. Because I feel like, to me, I feel like she was only there to spark that. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah,
and then like it was just nothing but fighting after that once we had that connection. So I just kind of like dropped that connection because it wasn't healthy.
I mean, not that's good, but it's good that you got something out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can associate a gain, a benefit that a positive side
out of a negative
out of
situation,
something negative, yes,
which was like falling back into like, oh, let me get a partner real quick to make me feel better.
Yeah, exactly. That is also shadow self. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But being able to recognize that is a shadow part of you, the darker part of you,
for sure,
a part of you that maybe you feel ashamed of. It's okay to work past that too.
Yeah. And you can only keep on going, honestly. Like it's just been one step right after the other since then. Nice. So that's when I feel like my shadow journey really started, is when I hit rock bottom.
And honestly, it can start at any point. You can feel the best that you've ever felt, or you can feel the worst that you've ever felt. I would have preferred,
I felt like amazing at the time to do shadow work, but usually people don't start shadow work until they're rock bottom.
Yeah. And that is also okay though, because sometimes it takes people to hit rock bottom for them to actually realize themselves, like,
that they have issues.
yeah, and what they should work on. But at least, you know, you had support, you had a place to stay, you had a roof over your head.
I was just all about
you know?
practicing gratefulness. Like at the
Yes.
time, like I
Yeah.
was so appreciative of my mom and my dad and my brothers
I
and
feel the
sisters.
same. Yeah.
So,
And
thank
like,
God.
y'all, don't be ashamed to go back to your mama and daddy's place. If you guys have that ability, if you have that option, that is something that a lot of people like take for granted. Because I mean, like, even now, my mom and dad like still offer me a room in their place because, well, I know that they come from a place of like, I'm so sorry that I neglected you when you were a kid, so come and stay with me now. I'm like, I'm an adult. No, thank you.
I'll just
I'm
have
okay.
my roommates. It's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. I'd rather have my roommates
Period.
not live with you. I'm so sorry. But I know that they're coming from a good place, and I have taken them up on that offer before so that I can get back on my feet.
Yeah, it was definitely much a get back on my feet moment.
Yes.
You know, stand up.
Don't be afraid.
Stand up.
Stand up.
I was definitely in that energy when I was down. I was all like, boy, you better stand up.
And it's okay to be in that energy, but don't be stuck in that energy.
Yeah.
Feel the need to want to be on your own. Feel the need to be independent. Like,
yeah, that's really where it stemmed from. For sure.
Don't keep like asking for support from people that, you know, may not have had that time to themselves. You know what I mean? Like, your mom and dad are also people. Your grandparents, they're also people. Your friends, they also
have their shadow
human
work to
beings.
do.
Yes, like everybody has their own situations, have their own environment to worry about.
This kind of goes into what shadow work is also about, which is like generational like trauma and like taking down those like things that are passed down. Because shadow is passed down as well through the lineage.
We have both. Both of us have that, especially from our parents, I feel.
I would say,
and grandparents.
And my grandparents did not have a good life.
Oh my God, so
you know
much.
what I mean? Like, both my grandparents didn't even have educations.
Well, that's something else. That's another podcast topic, generational trauma.
Oh, for sure.
And like how to heal from that, honestly, because that is something.
Shadow work.
Yeah, another shadow work kind of. I feel like the shadow work is the most interesting. You know what I mean?
It's definitely the
deepest part of healing. Yeah. I guess there's one more question from Jess, NPR. Shout out, girl. They asked, when I talk negatively about myself, is it my shadow self or is it valid self-criticism? Ooh.
I feel like it's both.
Good question.
It's definitely both. Like, you being like, oh shit, I was like annoying in that situation because I talk too much. Like, and instead of like applying that, like, in that sense, be like, let me give the other person the opportunity to actually talk next time. You know what I mean? Like, I was being annoying because I was just talking the entire time. Instead, you know.
No, say how you really feel, Angel. No, tell me how you really feel.
Not the tea. Not the tea.
You just saw him live calling me out. No,
I was not even. I was just saying. Because sometimes I feel like I talk too much for other people.
Oh,
you know what I mean? It was projection. Example of projection right here.
You're welcome.
But just being like, damn, I was annoying. How can I adjust myself to not feel this way next time?
Okay.
Or like, damn, I was being kind of rude. Like, why was I being rude? You know what I mean? Being like, my back hurts.
Oh, okay. My
so
back
I'm
hurts.
Like, let me actually stretch before work so I'm not in a bad attitude. Or take some
go.
Advil, bitch, like real quick. Boom.
Take some Advil. Don't take Advil. Not
don't
forever.
Take Advil, not daily.
Yeah, please don't. Your liver said no.
Yeah, your liver.
Ibuprofen too. That's bad for your tummy.
Period. What was the question again?
Look, we didn't even smoke, y'all.
This is just us normal.
When I talk negatively about myself, is it shadow self or is it valid self-criticism?
Both, like I said. Both.
Yeah, both. I would agree, both.
I mean, you can be too hard on yourself, for sure.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong.
Like, and the point of shadow work is not to put yourself down. Like, don't just list all the negative things, don't say all the negative things without
No.
putting the extra step into
Transmuting it into the positive.
exactly.
Like the light and the shadow are supposed to go hand in hand.
Yes, exactly.
So
and like, you know,
whereas I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, it's okay.
Well, where your shadow self is dragging you down, your higher self is dragging you up, and where your higher self is going too high, your shadow self drags you down a little bit to be more grounded.
Yeah.
Is the way I kind of think about the balancing act between the shadow and light, which goes back into the masculine and feminine, and also the yin and yang concept.
Yeah, balancing it.
Balance.
It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. It's work. It's work.
It's work.
It's a lot of work. But it is very much worth it, especially if you want to grow.
And better your relationships.
Yes. And also create a different and better environment for yourself, too. I feel like
And
that's
others.
also very, you know, critical to growing is by surrounding yourself with the good people, the good energy, the good environment, you know. It's not just about the work that you do internally, but also the work that you do outside and physically. Like going to the gym honestly has given me a new lease on myself, on my life, and on my personal perspective of myself. Like my self confidence, my self esteem, they've both gone way up because I know that I'm stronger. I know that
You actually have
am
proof physically.
yeah, exactly. I'm losing and gaining weight. You know what I mean? And it's a good thing for me because I want to be stronger. I want to be thinner, or I want to be voluptuous. You know what I mean? But it's also about like my surroundings. Like I decorated a lot of my friends on who is supporting has seen my room, you know, and I take great pride in my room now. I didn't take great pride in my room before because it wasn't the way that I wanted it to be. But now I have like wallpaper up. I put up pictures.
You did go all out for your room.
I put my diploma up.
Yeah.
My instruments, all of my instruments are up there. I have like a calendar. I have my clothes rack out that has my daily clothes. You know, like I have my gym set. Yeah, exactly. I have a jacket just in case it's a little chilly. It's not gonna be like that this summer though.
I would say getting your space right is definitely a good mental practice.
I feel like that is also like a stepping stone into working on
Cleaning
your
up
inner
your
self.
energy.
Yes, exactly. Just by having that like clean environment, by having it the way that you want it. It doesn't have to be clean, I guess, but it should be, you know, how you want it. Make it what you want, and then you can make yourself right too.
Period.
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
There was one more from Velvet.
Come on, Velvet. Shout out Velvet.
Hi, baby. She asked, what do you recommend for shadow work that you feel might actually help?
So a more practical approach to shadow work.
Yes.
You
can look at
journaling.
Yourself. Yeah,
Journaling might be the simplest way.
Looking at yourself in a mirror is also a big thing. I know that you know, shadow work might include like obsidian, like dark mirror. Like
I've been wanting an obsidian mirror for so long to do shadow work, but you don't need it. It's
very expensive.
It's more of like a symbol or like just a relic to use.
Yeah.
If you want a more practical sense, I think journaling for sure. Like more like realistic, you know, like borderline delusional when you're looking to an obsidian mirror.
Yeah, and honestly, don't look at yourself in the mirror for too long, honestly, because there's literal, like, actual scientific psychological studies that say that you start seeing things in your face, or, like, your face starts warping. Like, there's people that, I forgot what it's called. It's in the book that I'm reading, too, where you just start seeing things that aren't actually there. You know what I mean? And that's where it can also get a little bit iffy, a little sketchy. So
that's where like some kind of like, I feel like that's what scares people from shadow work is that like it kind of like releases some type of like demonic shit going on.
But it doesn't.
Actually, when actuality, all it is just being real with yourself.
Yes, yeah.
So,
I'm just being real with yourself.
Being real with yourself.
And that's okay. Like, it's okay to like
be scared of like certain things. That
Yeah.
just means it's not for you.
Yes.
I'm not
yeah.
telling everybody to go look in obsidian mirror.
No, of
But
course not.
definitely
But
telling most people to go journal.
yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
definitely. Or just start talking to yourself like how you think, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Say your thoughts out loud. And if you are feeling a certain way about the way that you are talking, the what you are saying, what words are coming out of your mouth, definitely stop yourself. Stop yourself and say, "Okay, well, why did that make me uncomfortable?" You know, like I do that all the time. I like would say all of my negative thoughts out loud to myself. And I'd
Mm-hmm.
be like, "Wait, why am I thinking this way right now? Like,
What's going on?
turn around, girl. It's okay. Like, why are you feeling this way?" And I would talk through it myself, or, I would journal. I would take a pause to journal.
Mm-hmm. I
Um,
journaled a lot in Colorado, honestly. Like
mhm.
almost every day I would journal. And I called it How Do I Feel Journal.
How do I feel
So I would
journal?
always start every
Oh,
prompt with How do I feel?
I
And
love
then when I
that.
was a teacher, it was more of like the mindful thing. Like
Ooh,
being
okay.
mindful of like the situation and being very careful about what you say and like knowing that there's a whole child in front of you that's going to absorb everything that you say in that situation or doesn't.
Ooh, okay.
Either way you need to be mindful.
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
like giving yourself that practice to like what you were saying, like just talk
Mm-hmm.
to yourself
Mm-hmm.
or like go through your thoughts first and then
Okay.
speak.
Right.
You know,
Okay.
it's a very high maturity level, honestly.
For sure. And I mean, I feel like, the people that want to listen, that continue to listen to us, you guys are trying to work on yourselves.
I love that.
And that is amazing. That is such a great big step for you to take. And thank you so much for doing it with us. Um, I truly think that
We should start a Discord or something, no?
yeah, definitely, definitely. I think we will
We'll look into that.
whenever
But let's
whenever we
it's
keep
baby
going.
steps, baby steps.
Yes, yeah, exactly. This
So
is
that's an
only our second
example of
podcast.
like the higher self wanting more, and
Yes,
then you
yeah.
toning it down with your lower self or your shadow
Yes.
self being like, let's baby
Oh,
steps. Period.
period.
So that's
Live
just an
example.
example. There you go, live example.
Live example. I love that. No, yeah, I think that it's a good thing to start working on yourself. Definitely, I think like a good first journal entry
Oh yeah, let's
that
give out some journal
I
entries.
would love for you to have this prompt for yourself whenever you start journaling, whenever you do your voice memos, even, or like if you want
Record
to type it
yourself.
out. Don't be afraid to journal however you want. You know what I mean? Like you can write it down, you
Nobody's
can
gonna see it.
paint it out, you can sing it out if you want, you
I sing
can,
sometimes. Like I'll
yeah.
literally, especially when I'm deep in my sorrowful, lonely energy. Oh my goodness, I gotta let it out.
Yeah, I hear him crooning like almost every other day, guys, y'all. He's not a good singer.
I'm not a good singer at all, but I will definitely
But you
like.
can do it.
Yeah, there's nothing stopping you from being creative and like just
Yeah.
expressing yourself.
Whatever
Period.
helps you feel free, you know what I mean?
Free.
So for me, whenever I want to work on myself, I ask myself in my journal, how do you feel in this present moment? That helps me connect to my mindfulness and to connect to my physical body as well as my mental body.
Oh, we should also talk about um, affirmations.
Affirmations. Nice.
Go
Yes,
ahead.
I would love to. Um, so definitely start with connecting to yourself in the present moment. Um, what you are going through, what day is today, you know what I mean? What you look like, just general things that help you connect to yourself right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would ask myself, like, what sparked you to start journaling? You know what I mean? If it was something in the past, if it was something that happens right now, if it was a feeling that you have, or maybe if it's a thought that you have for the future. Like maybe today, like I was thinking about, oh my God, like what am I gonna do after I'm done graduating? That's a while from now. That's like at least 5 months from now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like a big step. That's a big long leap of time before I graduate. And there's going to be so many more things that happen in between then and now that I can't anticipate whatever is going to happen. But for me to think about it is a good thing. So I'm going to write it down. And I'm going to think about what I want for myself and what I want to look like, what I want to be like, and, you know, who I would still like to have in my life, and even how they're doing. Like, I go really in depth with my journaling. Like, I think about a lot of people. I have so many people that I love and that I want to support and I want to continue to support, and I'll keep them in my thoughts and in my book, in my journal. And it's always such a good thing too to like spread that good energy to the people that you really enjoy having in
Yeah,
your
you're like
life.
thinking about them for a reason, so might as
Yeah.
well reach out for them. Just a little
Exactly.
thing. Send them some $20, you know.
I'm on my cash app is Audrey
If you're thinking about
T1127.
us.
Thank you so much. Thank you. No, but in all seriousness, like, you know, start there. You know, it doesn't have to be right now. It doesn't have to be tomorrow. It can be whenever you have a thought. It can be whenever you want to think about the future, or maybe like something in your past has been brought up, or maybe you want to start talking about, you want to start journaling about, you know, how your boyfriend is a piece of shit. Why do you feel that way?
Why do you feel like that?
What do you,
What did he do?
yeah, what did he do?
What
But
did you
also,
do?
yeah, exactly. How did you react in the moment? And
What led up to it?
exactly.
There's so many different prompts, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. But definitely start with your mindfulness. Like in the moment, how are you feeling? What are you doing?
It takes practice.
Exactly.
But
yeah.
the more you do it, the easier it gets.
Yes, yeah. And I still do that to this day.
And
like,
you'll like catch yourself being not mindful, and you'll be like, "Oh shit, I definitely was not mindful in that position."
yes, yeah. And it's
Oops.
okay. And like look through your past journal entries too. Like I even still like I used to be a kid when I was journaling, and I would journal
Damn.
about the dumbest things, you know what I mean?
Just like getting
oh
it
my
out.
god, I can't believe that I'm going to the grocery store with my mom. Like I just want to go hang out with my friends, and she just
That
wants
was
me to pick
important.
out some chicken. Yeah,
That
you
was
know.
important.
Yeah, so and like I'll look back
At
on
the
it and
time.
I'll laugh. I'll laugh at it. I'll be like, "Oh my god, like all of these big problems to me as a kid are such little ones to me now." You know what I
So
mean?
imagine when you're like 40 and you're looking back at yourself right now.
I do. I look back on the ones that I'm like going through all of this abuse with my boyfriend, and I'm like, "Oh my god, this was pretty fucking serious." But the way that I was writing it, it was ridiculous.
Right. Yeah, I'll go look at like some of my
I-
journals and I'll be like, "Oh my gosh, I got so much attitude."
this
when
girl,
I write
yeah.
this. I got a lot of attitude.
So I can definitely see the level up in my journal entries, definitely.
For sure.
But
It's just like something you could keep track of as well.
yeah, it's something fun
Period.
to look back on too. And sometimes like in the moment it doesn't feel fun, in the moment it doesn't feel good to like think about all of these issues, all of these problems that are
Right.
coming up, but it's something that is necessary if you want to keep growing. What about you? Do you have any journal prompts that you like to start off?
Journal prompts that I would like for myself personally would be like, what comes to mind is like, how can I be better for the people around me? You know, like, but also how can I be better for myself now would be the second prompt. And then going into what is one thing you could do a day to like help yourself be more confident. You know what I mean?
Ooh, okay, yeah.
So those are just some examples of things that I would write in my journal. You know what I mean? Or things that I just ask myself. I'm more of like conversational than I am a journal person. So that's where I stick to like the videos.
Ooh,
Like I'll take videos of myself and I'll just like I remember one time when I had got an apprenticeship as a tattoo artist, and then the next day I went in and the tattoo artist was all like, "Oh, I can't have another tattoo apprentice because I already have two and it's just be too much." You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember that.
And yeah, that was very devastating for me in the moment. Like I was like really just trying to convince this man to like accept me as his pupil basically, and he was just telling me no. And then he started like, I guess looking back at it now, he started talking down on his apprentice and his sister at the time. Okay. So I viewed that, I latched onto that and was all like, he's a bad person and da-da-da. Yeah. But in actuality, he was just trying to get me out of his face.
Yeah.
You know, because I was obviously making him uncomfortable with my persistence.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Exactly.
So I went to
Exactly.
my car and I started my camera and I just talked to myself.
Nice. No, that's good.
And I just like let it all out. And at the very end of it, I still have it. Like I went to go watch it recently for this
Oh, really?
exact episode.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And it was about, at the very end, I was like just telling myself it's going to be okay. Like we're going to get past this and we're going to keep moving forward.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
at the very end
That's
of
all you
me
can.
letting all that stuff out and me getting my thoughts out, no matter how gross and disgusting I felt at the moment or shameful I felt for losing my apprenticeship a day later. And then I had just posted about it on Instagram as well. Like I felt so ashamed and embarrassed as a Leo.
Yeah.
And so I just like let it all out and then I just moved forward. I didn't even acknowledge that it on my Instagram or nothing. I just kept moving forward. And now we're here a year
Going
later
again.
now?
Yeah, a year later.
A year later now, pursuing the same thing, but stronger.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah, knowing exactly what you need and what you
I
have
want
to do.
in a master.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. That's really nice. And I remember also like whenever you did come back home from that debacle, I was like, you know, trying to comfort you and saying that this is just a stepping stone. It's okay, and that there's more opportunities. But it's kind of like you can hear that from anybody and everybody in your life, but until you acknowledge it yourself, until you are willing to admit that to yourself, you're not going to be able to move forward until you do that for yourself. So like I totally understand those people that, you know, like you get advice from your friends, you have people that tell you exactly where to start, how to do this and that and that.
But only you know what's good for you.
Exactly. And it's okay to take other people's advice and their affirmations and then put them into your own.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
What are some affirmations that you've been telling yourself?
Um,
I have several affirmations, but
would you like to go first?
so my main affirmation is you are a magnet for joy, love, peace, happiness, and success.
Yes.
So it kind of covers all kind of things.
Yeah.
But I'm also have a affirmation when it comes to like myself, like my body and how I feel sensually. And it's like you are a magnet of or you are a being of sensuality, sexiness, and like empowerment. Like you are that person to be that bitch.
I love that.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I'll just repeat stuff like that towards myself depending on the situation.
Yeah.
Or like you are like when I was a teacher, you are respectful, you are kind, and you are a father figure. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it all goes into like what the situation is and what kind of affirmation fits for that situation. Like what has helped you? What are some affirmations that have helped you move forward?
I'm a very jokey person. I love to like joke with myself a lot. And that honestly has been what spurred me into like self-care, self-help, and like self-confidence. So what I would do, well, actually lately, I would do the I am a lucky girl syndrome.
I honestly really liked that when it started happening.
Yes, same.
I was all like, wow, like we're finally all getting on the same wave. You know what I mean? Like I really like when I see like positive affirmations like pop off, like viral.
It's so awesome. Yeah. It's so good.
Because it's a joke, but it's also like
not a joke anymore.
It's not a joke anymore.
Yeah. It starts off as like, oh my god, I'm such a lucky girl, but then you like actually start believing it, and you suddenly just start feeling like you're a lucky girl. And like I'm maybe not as in depth with my affirmations as you are, but I definitely in the moment I'll tell myself like it's okay, like you are a loving being, you are a positive energy and a positive source of light to a lot of people, and it's okay if you aren't that person for everybody. Like it's okay if people don't like you, it's okay if you step on people's toes a little bit, because I mean you're just trying to
stepping on toes a little bit.
And it's just because you are finding yourself and you're finding a way to express yourself to other people. Like I have to be patient with myself in the fact that like I don't know how to be social with people. I don't know how to make friends. I don't know when to stop. I don't like have personal boundaries with myself.
Mm.
You know, I want to let it all out. I'm going to let it all out. I'm a very honest, straightforward person, unfortunately and fortunately. So whatever you see, I tell you is what you get in, okay? So,
Okay.
period.
Just accept the love that I gave you right there.
Yes.
Then.
But that's honestly like a good way for me to live because now I don't have anybody like associating me with a specific personality. It's
I'm
just
just
me.
being
I'm
authentic.
just being me. Yeah,
Yeah.
I am probably the most genuine self that I have ever been ever in my entire life.
I would
Like,
say the same for me too.
yeah,
Mhm.
really
Yeah.
good. That's awesome. I
I'm that
feel
bitch.
very
Period.
authentic, and that's the main thing that I latch onto. It's not even like,
Authenticity.
yeah, it's not even like, oh, I'm a good person, or oh, I'm so beautiful. It's I'm very genuine. I'm a very genuine person, and I'm attracting genuine people and
Period.
genuine energy.
Period.
Like whatever I feel
I feel
is
like that's a
right.
really good affirmation just by
Yeah.
itself.
And I'm like, whatever I feel is right for me. And my intuition is always on point. Like I tell myself that all the time now because I used to really doubt myself. I really used to doubt my intuition.
Mm.
And I would be like, "Oh, you're wrong, girl." Like and I would have people that would doubt me because they knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing was wrong, or they knew what they were doing was something that would hurt me in the end. And they would tell me, "Oh, you're wrong." Like if I'm suspecting like a boyfriend of cheating on me, I'm like, "Oh, you're cheating on me, right?" And they'd be like, they would gaslight me. They would be like, "No, I'm not. What are you talking about? I'm not.
Silly
I'm not
boys.
cheating on you. That's hilarious. Are you cheating on me?" And then they would turn it around
Oh
on
my
me and they'd be
God.
like,
That's
"You're
crazy.
cheating on me, huh? That's why you mentioned it."
I would be like, no, we're not doing this. I'm sorry.
That's a me now.
Yeah.
But the me back then would be very argumentative.
Right.
And I would be very stubborn and I would be like, "You're cheating on me."
You kind of fell for the
Yeah.
facade that they were trying to portray.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And then I would give them another chance and another chance and another chance.
Because it would just escalate to something much worse, and then it makes it seem like it's not as bad.
Exactly. Because I mean, like, you know, I was also a people pleaser back then too. Not to say that
Same.
I'm still not. I still am, but only honestly to the people that I truly love and like I want to see succeed.
Right.
But I don't know. I just feel like good positive affirmations, even if you're just joking about them at first, they're really good for
They go a
you
long
to
way.
yeah, to boost your self-confidence, to boost like your
Get you out of your shadow self a little bit.
yeah, trust yourself. Like that is the biggest thing that I think out of this talk that I can really say to people is trust yourself, trust your instincts, trust your intuition.
Trust what's good for yourself.
Exactly. The more mindful you are of yourself and the more mindful you are of your
Try not
thoughts.
to hurt other people without, like setting boundaries is good, but also like setting boundaries that are also not self-destructive. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Making sure.
Yeah, so just trust yourself. Just like be mindful
Balance.
of yourself and others. I think that that's really a good place to start off at is just being able to connect with yourself. So if you haven't started that journey yet, definitely start that. And then, like we said, you know, respectively, inner child, higher self, and shadow self. That's how we work on ourselves.
That's how I do it, yeah.
I feel like, you know, there's still a lot of inner child like stuff, a lot of trauma, a lot of events that I still need to work through. But I know that my higher self, my highest self, I've been known her. I'm already getting to know her so well, so fast, and so quick. And
she doesn't want to hide, like your higher self is not something that wants to be hidden away.
Yeah, exactly.
They will talk, and you're gonna have to like push that down.
Chill her out, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Chill them out, you know what I mean? And that's totally okay to have them speak their mind. I think that's a very good thing too. That helps with confidence.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think trusting yourself is definitely, and then just starting the work, to like get better, to become more.
Yes. Period, girl.
Is there anything else you wanted to say?
For me, not really, honestly. I think that we've covered a lot for both for all
of
three.
it,
All three.
It was
of
a
those
big
things.
topic, honestly.
It was a big topic. Thank you so much for listening also, guys. Do you
Ooh.
have anything else?
I was gonna say, how do you feel right now after just like
I
being
feel
in that mindfulness now?
I feel pretty good. I
You feel
feel
good?
very good, honestly. I've always wanted to like talk more
About your practices.
yeah, exactly, because I feel like I was in a really dark place. I was in a really bad place
Me
too whenever you had first met me.
Mm,
And it was probably the lowest of the low, my rock bottom.
I would say.
For me to really like heal and grow from that, it's taken a long time. It's been 2 years since then, but I feel great about myself and about the place that I'm in. I know that, you know, I'm not in the best place as possible. I'm in a lot of debt. I'm in a lot of
financially and
struggles.
physically.
Yeah. But I feel the most light. I feel the most stable in my mental state. Like
Right.
I feel as though now that I'm getting to that point where I'm at peace with myself and at my most stable mindset, I can really truly put myself out there for my friends, for my family, for me to help them and support them and help them in their endeavors for success. But what about you? How do you feel now?
Right now, I feel very content.
Content.
I feel like I gotta go pee.
Okay, yes. We went the whole podcast without taking a break.
know.
Good
I'm
job.
gonna go pee right now,
Yeah,
and then we'll
okay,
say
girl.
bye. Okay, ask if it.
Wait, what do you mean? Let's just say bye now.
Okay, I'm sorry. I gotta pee
No,
real
it's
bad.
okay. You've been holding it, guys.
I've been holding it.
Thank you guys again for coming in and tuning into our lovely little podcast.
Yes, thank y'all so much.
We will be having this every Monday at 6 p.m. If there are any changes, we'll let you know. Also, I just wanted to shout y'all out, you and Merlin, because you guys have Deity Studios. They will probably be at First Friday at The Brick in San Antonio, Texas, if you are in town and want to see and grab some art, have a nice drink. There's live music, and there's also non-alcoholic beverages. Yes, if you.
I think I gotta go pee.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. No, it's okay. Go ahead, girl. Thank you guys again. Y'all have a wonderful day. Night.
Bye, y'all.
Shut up.